legislature's zero tolerance on gender, reaffirm the legislature's zero tolerance stance on gender-based violence and rape and femicide. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So agreed.
We won.
Sorry. Let's rerun that. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Agreed.
There is a no. The motion is not agreed.
Omashid.
Thank you. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. The no, it doesn't matter where it came from, honorable members.
We did
It's
not say the
Mashilo.
no.
Deputy Speaker has come from that side.
It's Honorable
honorable
Mashilo,
members also they participate.
leader of government business.
Yes.
Speaker, the no is coming from that side.
No.
They are participating.
I don't. Let's not do that.
Where did it come from, Speaker?
Yeah, the no comes from members.
Honorable Speaker,
Who said the no?
We did not hear the no.
We didn't hear the
Start
no.
afresh. We
Okay,
want
you
to
want
hear
to
the
re-
person who defend the rapist.
Okay. Honorable members, let's not do that. Yeah, switch off your mic, Honorable Kenneth. No. Honorable Kabi, let's not do that. Let's not do that. No, let's not do that. Now, the motion, the question was paused in, and when there's a no, in the same system that you're utilizing, it balances. I will run it again. Okay. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Yes, agreed.
There's a no. There's a no.
Where do you hear
Was
no?
it now?
Honorable
No.
members,
Or is you who's supporting
this time there
rapists?
was
Where
no
do you
no.
hear the no?
There was
okay.
no.
I will run it again. Honorable Chair,
We didn't hear the no.
just wait.
No, Speaker, we should not run the House in that way. I think this is sitting. If there is a no, there should be no.
Yes.
Where it comes from who, there is a no from members. If we are going to run it that day, we are going to repeat it to many motions that are going to come. I don't think it is correct. Run a motion, if it's yes, it's yes. If it's no, there's no. Then that's how the House must be run.
Thank you. Honorable
We need
members,
a
we are
rerun.
now proceeding. Thank
Can
you,
we get
Honorable
a
Mashilo.
rerun?
Honorable Ndabezitha.
Asidlule kahle la. Sorry, through you, Chair, before Honorable Ndabezit. Asidlule kahle
Yeah,
la.
just wait. Just sit down. Take a seat. Yeah, I noted you take a seat. Okay. Honorable Ndabezitha, may you take a seat? Okay. Honorable Sidibe.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Speaker. Ngicabanga ukuthi asidlulanga kahle. Honorable Mashilo was just guiding you in the House in terms of the process, which we are aware of. But can you rerun so that sindlule kahle sizwe lo no ukuthi ukhona la? Because I don't think there's a normal person who can disagree with the court for sentencing a rapist.
Okay.
That will be something
Point
surprising.
taken. You may take a seat. Honorable members, let me explain to you. This particular session is within all members and in their position. If there's a no, there's a no. Equally, when you put a motion and when there's a no from your side, it's a no. So when this process has been already executed, I'll run it for the last time, but there's a no that I've recorded for the peace and stability of this sitting of today. It's at the best interest of indicating and drawing your attention back to the rules. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Agreed.
There's a no. Thank you. Honorable Mahlangu, you may take the podium. Thank you.
No, thank you.
Deputy
Thank you,
Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Deputy
Mlombo,
Speaker.
we are heartless.
Deputy Speaker.
Honorable Mahlangu, you may take a seat. Okay, just wait.
Deputy Speaker.
Just wait, Honorable Karen. You see, Honorable Sidibe, when you speak outside the mic, you are intentionally disrupting others. Now then you are depriving others who are raising their hands, their rights. If we promote that as a leader of a party, we are actually bringing all these institutions into something else. So Honorable Mkabela, raise a hand. Please let us all live and survive within the rules, okay? Honorable Mkabela.
Thank you very much. Deputy Speaker, I'm rising on a different matter here.
Okay.
This has been happening for the longest time. The officials who are dealing with the system of switching on and off the microphone, they are doing as they wish. And it is not their duty to switch off a member's microphone without you telling them to do so. The instruction must come from you. Can you switch the microphone of Honorable Mkhabela? Now Honorable Chibi, because they have noticed he's been loud and talking about this nothing, his microphone was like green. It was ringing. Krrr. He was not allowed to say anything. This is incorrect. It must be corrected from today onwards. We are tired of this thing. No official can switch our microphone without an instruction coming from your desk.
Thank you.
You see now, it was ringing again. He switched it off.
Thank you very much.
It must not happen.
Thank you very much. I think the team will take good care of that. Members and supports team, please, let's not disrupt members. This is their sitting. And let's allow Honorable Mahlangu to raise the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me greet Honorable Speaker, yourself, and honorable members. And let me send my salutations to the President of Contralesa and the Deputy Chair of Contralesa in the province of Mpumalanga in the House. Honorable Speaker, I rise to move a motion without notice on behalf of the African National Congress to register our heartfelt condolences on the untimely passing of His Majesty King Makhosoke II of Amandebele Nation, noting that His Majesty King Enoch Makhosoke Mabena has led the Amandebele Nation for 40 years. He has unfortunately left us on the age of 65. He was a pillar of a national unity in diversity and champion of development, with education and land reinstitution part of his vision. Honorable Speaker, the ANC requests this august House to bow our heads and mourn the passing of His Majesty King Makhosoke II. Our thought and prayers are with the Amandebele Nation in this painful journey of losing a loved one. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Agreed.
So agreed. We're proceeding. Honorable Grobler.
Deputy Speaker, there was a no here.
No, I didn't hear it. Honorable Grobler, may you take your seat? Honorable Mkhabela, let's not do that.
No.
Just wait. No, let's not do that. What is the order?
It's not an order, Speaker. I said no.
You
And
said
when I
no.
said no, you didn't hear it.
Okay.
But when it was said by someone, you heard it.
No problem.
Thank you.
Honorable, let's rerun. No, there's no crisis. There's no transmission. The passing of the king motion, I think it solicits all of us. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Agreed.
No.
So the motion is defeated. Honorable Khoba, you may take a podium.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. On a slightly more exciting note, I rise to deliver a motion without notice on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Honourable Deputy Speaker, noting that this House recognised that the national soccer team carries the hopes and the pride of millions of South Africans and serves as a symbol of unity across a diverse nation. Their qualification to the FIFA World Cup is a remarkable achievement and a testament to the hard work, dedication and sacrifice of the players, coaching staff and management. I therefore move that this House fully supports Bafana Bafana and we wish them every success for their opening match against Mexico tonight and also throughout the rest of the group stages against the Czech Republic and South Korea. May they compete with courage, determination and the fighting spirit for which South Africans are renowned. I further move that we call on all South Africans to rally behind our national team, to support the team in a spirit of patriotism and national unity, and to proudly fly the South African flag as Bafana Bafana represents our country on the world stage. Kenako, go well, Bafana Bafana. The nation stands behind you. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
Agreed.
So agreed. Yes, Honorable Umar. Yes, you may proceed, member.
Okay. Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members. I rise on behalf of Umkhonto Wesizwe Party to raise emotional subject that involve violent assault to a woman inside the tavern in Komazi municipality, local municipality. Honorable Speaker, a 22-year-old man assaulted a woman inside a tavern in Komazi local municipality, violating the laws or the law and the principle of Ubuntu. While the woman was being assaulted or attacked, others, patrons, choose to film the incident on their cell phones instead of reprimanding and the perpetrator or protecting the victim. The act of recording violent social media is a sign of lost values and a collapse of community responsibility. Honorable Speaker, as a MK party, we believe that such an incident assault to a defenseless woman is a criminal, but the silence of cameras of the bystanders reveal a deeper crisis without respect. We have failed as parents and schools, churches, and as a society to teach basic morals. The moral decay is fueled by alcohol abuse in taverns, absence of positive male role models, and social media culture that reward shock over compassion. The MK party strongly condemned both of the perpetrators and the bystanders who filmed instead of intervening. We call on the South African police services to investigate and charge all those who fail to render assistance to a person in distress in terms of the law.
Thank you. Your time is
Thank you.
Members, the question before us is whether we agree to adopt a motion.
Agreed.
Agreed. The last motion. Yes, Honourable Member.
Ngibonge Sekela Somlomo. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I rise on behalf of the EFF to condemn the ongoing water crisis in Emalahleni, where communities continue to suffer dry taps and unreliable water supply. This is a violation of basic constitutional rights and a clear failure of municipal governance, planning and maintenance of critical infrastructure. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this crisis reflects the continued neglect of working class communities who are expected to endure hardship while those responsible offer excuses instead of solutions. Schools, households, and local businesses are all affected, yet there is still no lasting and credible intervention. We therefore call for the urgent intervention by COGTA to ensure immediate restoration of stable water supply by the municipality. We further demand that municipality move beyond temporary fixes and implement a permanent infrastructure turnaround plan to ensure that the people of Emalahleni are never again subjected to this level of deprivation. The EFF stands with the people, and we will not accept the normalization of service delivery collapses. I so move.
Thank you. The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt a motion.
Agreed.
So agreed. Thank you very much. Honourable members, that concludes our motion. Honourable Masango.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I understand the rules and I know we are in politics, but I'm just being disappointed today. Very painful motions that actually affect the people of Mpumalanga and get defeated in such a way. And we are honorable members here, and we should be acting as honorable members. But unfortunately, we really don't have a feeling of our own people's feelings currently. I think I will appeal to these members, guys, let's just be honest to ourselves, let's think carefully. We can't really defeat motions like this at all. It can't be said, Chairperson. I mean, Speaker, thank you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Masango. I think you have made a very Honourable Mashilo, you want to say something?
Yeah. You know, I think, Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with Honorable Masango. You see, the motion on the passing of the King of Amandebele rejected by this House is a disgrace. It will go in public that this House rejected in the morning of His Majesty as this house. It must be recorded. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you very much. No, honorable members.
No, you can't. You can't. You allowed them.
No,
Yeah,
you
just-
allowed them,
just-
Speaker.
just wait.
You have allowed them.
Yeah, just wait. There's no crisis. I have allowed members to speak, and I'm allowing a member to speak. Why are you always too forward? Don't be forward. Honorable, you raise your hand, and I noted you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In all fairness, it is inhumane what happened. And this has been happening. ANC members in this legislature have been always against motions. We once raised a motion of a dead child who died at a clinic because he was a child, a black child, had no position. We didn't care about him. Today we want to raise the same subject. That when we say no, it should not.
There's an order. Just honorable members, may you take a seat? There's an order. I wait. Honorable members, there's an order. Wait. Honorable Mashilo.
No, Honorable Lukela must not do that. Let's not make comparison. If death is death, could the same way raised in the same time, if he has observed the death of a child not being observed by this house rejected, could it do the same? Let's not compare. Death remains death. And I thought from that order, spirit must be sustained.
Okay.
And we have not said in this house is the
Deputy Speaker?
MK. We have referenced that the house rejected. Because the matter is rejected by the house.
Honorable members, can I make a ruling?
Yes.
Can I make a ruling on this?
Yes,
one?
rule.
Okay, can I make a ruling? Honorable members, there are rules in this house that govern, and particularly this process. If this process, a motion is raised and there's a no, irrespective of how we feel about it, sad and painful as it is, the rules stand. Now, what Honorable Masang was saying was equally articulating the importance of some of the motions, and which what Honorable Lukele raised as well, it also finds expression. So I want to call upon this House, to all members, let us all tip our mind to the importance of these motions, irrespective of how we handle them. We want to apologize to all of you, and we do take note of the importance of the situation, but the rules stand. And the rules are there made to all of us, okay? I have made a ruling on this matter. I want to afford you, Honorable Jackson, Malachi, Honorable Malachi, what do you want to stand on? I made a ruling on this matter.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I agree you have made a ruling, but we must be honest to one another here. What Honorable Masang have raised is the true reflection of what is happening in this House. And I therefore, in terms of the motion, will request that I think we must convene an urgent whips forum, because the House is degenerating in terms of the motions. And it's because of all political parties, we must agree, more especially on the ANC, who is rejecting most of the motions that we are saying. Thank you very much.
All right, okay. No. For the fact that I have made a ruling, and honorable members knows the process that need to be taken, which means you are doing what you are doing, knowing very well what need to be done. In an event where a level of degenerating have rise above. So I want to call upon honorable members to take what need to be taken into the right select committee and correct what need to be corrected. I think the English is sufficient. Can we proceed? Thank you very much. Notice of motion. Are there any notice of motions, honorable members? So we are passing this one on, members. There's no motions there. Notice of motions, formal motions. There's no formal motion. There's a formal motions on the order paper in the name of the Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Ima Kabani. Over to you.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, thank you very much for the opportunity. I, Ivan Domizodwa Makabane, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, tables a notice of motion in terms of Rule 84(1)B of the Rules and Orders of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, that is the rules, that at the sitting of Thursday, the 11th of June 2026, I shall move that the House, 1, notes that the policy and budget speeches of the 2026-2027 financial year shall be tabled by the Premier, Speaker, and members of the Executive Council during the sitting of the House as per the order papers for the sittings of the 11th, 12th, and 18th of June 2026. 2, further notes that Rule 191 provides that each member of the Executive Council must, on the day and time determined by the Speaker, deliver a policy speech and table a budget for his or her department, whereafter the Speaker must call for a debate on the speech and the budget. I shall therefore move that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 4 number 1 to suspend the provisions of Rule 191 and consequently not debate the policy and budget speeches of the following votes. Number 1, vote number 1, Office of the Premier. Vote number 2, Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. Vote 3, Provincial Treasury. Vote 6, Department of Economic Development and Tourism. Vote 11, Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation. And vote 12, Department of Social Development. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I so move. I thank you.
Thank you. Honorable members, I'm informed that there is no debate on this motion. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion as tabled by Honorable Makabane.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So agreed. I now take us through to the order of the day, and I will invite the Secretary to read the first order of the day.
Order number 1, policy and budget speech on vote 5, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs.
I now take the opportunity to call upon the Honorable MEC of Agriculture, Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environment Affairs, Honorable BK Mweketsi, to deliver the budget policy speech.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Alihle
of
le
the
roko
legislature.
uyaqwebezela siyabonga muhle namuhla.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Mkabela, my sister. Thank you. Honorable Deputy Speaker of the Legislature, Babu Masango, the Acting Speaker, Honorable Premier of the Province, Honorable Mandla Ndlovu, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Eva Makabane, members of the Executive Council and Provincial Legislature, the Provincial Secretary of the Governing Party, Babu Muzichira, leaders of the Alliance, leader of the official opposition, and all political parties represented. Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Honorable Sidibe, Chairperson of the House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, Khoshi Mukwena, and all traditional leaders present. Director General of the province, Mama MECs Kosana, the head of the department, Mr. Chunda, and senior management, representatives from the African National Congress, Organized Agriculture, Business and Labor, esteemed mayors, councillors, farmers, guests, members of the media, and the people of Mpumalanga. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Lochan. I rise today with a profound sense of responsibility and commitment to present 2026-2027 policy and budget vote for the Department of Agriculture, rural development, land, and environmental affairs. Honorable Deputy Speaker, this budget vote takes place during the Youth Month, a period when the nation reflects on the courage and sacrifice of the youth of 1976 and recommits to advancing their unfinished struggle for freedom through tangible economic transformation. It is a moment that calls for accelerated action to expand youth participation in agriculture, rural development, land reform, and the green and the circular economy, ensuring that young people are placed at the center of productive economy activity. Guided by the legacy of 1976, this budget vote carries the responsibility to translate democratic gains into real opportunities, dignified livelihoods, and inclusive growth for new generations. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are guided by the enduring vision of the Freedom Charter, which boldly proclaimed that, I quote, "The land shall be shared amongst those who work it," close quote. A vision that continues to inspire our commitment to land justice, equality, and shared prosperity. This is further strengthened by the objectives of the National Democratic Revolution, which seeks not only to the attainment of political freedom, but also the fundamental transformation of the economic relations inherited from our colonial and apartheid past, so as to ensure meaningful participation, equitable ownership, and inclusive development for all of our people. In this regard, we are reminded by Amilcar Cabral that people are not fighting for ideas only, but for the material benefits, for the improvement of their lives, dignity, and concrete conditions of their existence. A principle that guides our responsibility to translate freedom into tangible socio-economic progress. We are further guided by the words of Thomas Sankara, a revolutionary and the former president of Burkina Faso, who cautioned us that, I quote, "He who feeds you controls you," close quote. A reminder of the importance of self-reliance, productive capacity, and economic independence. It is in this spirit that this budget vote advances the empowerment of the people of Mpumalanga to produce their own food, strengthen agricultural productivity, and build resilient communities capable of feeding themselves and sustaining their livelihoods. Agriculture remains the backbone of many rural communities in Mpumalanga, sustaining livelihoods, supporting agro-processing industries, and contributing significantly to employment across the province. In a world confronted by these rising food prices, climate uncertainty, and growing socio-economic challenges, our responsibility is clear: to ensure that no household goes to bed hungry and that agriculture becomes catalyst for inclusive growth and shared responsibility or prosperity. This commitment aligns with the vision articulated by the Honorable Premier during the 2026 State of the Province Address, where agriculture was identified as one of the sectors with the greatest potential to drive economic growth, create sustainable jobs, and improve the quality of our life of our people. Honorable members, the Premier reminded us that the fight against poverty, unemployment, and inequality requires bold investment in productive sectors such as agriculture. He highlighted encouraging achievements, including support to more than 20,000 vulnerable households through the Smart Agriculture Boxes program, the continued development of youth agripreneurs who are successfully participating in local and international markets, the successful eradication of avian influenza in parts of the province, and the ongoing interventions to combat foot and mouth disease through vaccination and disease control programs. He further underscored the transformative partnership with the University of Mpumalanga to advance agricultural research, innovation, and human capital development, while positioning the province as a leader in food production and agro-industrial growth. Guided by these priorities, this budget reaffirms our commitment to supporting farmers of all sizes, strengthening biosecurity, expanding market access, promoting climate-smart agriculture, empowering youth, women, and people with disability, in particular among rural communities, while building a resilient agricultural sector capable of feeding our people, creating jobs, and driving economic transformation throughout Mpumalanga. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are delighted about the investment we have made to create a top-tier food market that will revolutionize the sector and contribute positively to both provincial and national gross domestic product. The market is now fully compliant with all necessary statutory and regulatory standards, including the Certificate of Occupation, Certificate of Acceptability, and a Business Trade Certificate. Plus, we have appointed licensed market agents to facilitate trading and support our farmers by providing better access to market services. As of the 8th of June 2026, the Mpumalanga International Food Market has begun onboarding its first client, Green Farms, for storage of macadamia nuts in kernels. Prior to signing up with the Mpumalanga International Food Market, the client was storing their nuts in Gauteng. This was despite the products being grown in Mpumalanga. The decision by Green Farms to relocate their business to Mpumalanga is a classic example of the impactful investment made by the province in establishing Mpumalanga International Food Market, and a beautiful story to tell about Mpumalanga claiming its natural authority as a base to future-proofing South African food security. Deputy Speaker, it is anticipated further, Madam Honorable Deputy Speaker, that another key account, namely Green Roads Logistics, will come on board soon as the Mpumalanga International Food Market Facility received accreditation by the Perishable Produce Export Control Board for use of the market cold rooms facilities for storage of citrus destined for exports markets. Honorable Deputy Speaker, to date, 11 market agents have been appointed to facilitate trade in fresh produce. It is worth noting that of the 11 agents, 9 are 100% black-owned and 2 are youth-owned. This means 82% of Mpumalanga International Food Market agents are black, with the remaining 18% being legacy agencies. A sharp contrast to a democratic picture across all 15 existing national fresh produce markets. Significantly, Honorable Deputy Speaker, 5 of the 9 black agents are startup enterprises from Mpumalanga. The 5 startups have already received training from the Agricultural Produce Agents Council, APEC, and have become fully fledged market agents. This is a serious game changer, and it reflects the transformation agenda the province is driving in the market. In 2026-2027 financial year, the department will implement 30 food market squares across 30 wards in the province at a budget of 78 million. The market squares are an extension of Mpumalanga International Food Market and will provide local trading infrastructure for informal traders and community-based enterprises, bringing markets closer to communities and stimulating local economic development. Each food market square is expected to create at least 4 SMME opportunities, resulting in approximately 120 SMME enterprises across the province. Honorable Deputy Speaker, access to affordable finance remains one of the greatest challenges facing farmers in agribusinesses, particularly those previously disadvantaged by discrimination. To address this challenge, the department has partnered with the National Empowerment Fund to establish a blended finance mechanism known as Mpumalanga Agro Fund and/or the Mpumalanga Bridge Fund to accelerate agricultural transformation. The Agro Fund provides financing up to 7.5 million qualifying farming enterprises at an interest of 2.5%, which is significantly below the financing costs typically faced by developing farmers through commercial lending institutions, where interest rates often range between 10% and 15%. This affordable financing model enables farmers previously disadvantaged by discrimination to expand production, invest in infrastructure, improve productivity, and create sustainable employment opportunities. The funding package comprises a 40% grant contributing from the department, capped at 3 million, and 60% loan contribution from the National Empowerment Fund, capped at 4.5 million. This blended finance structure significantly reduces the debt burden beneficiaries and improves the bankability of farm businesses and provides a practical pathway for emerging farmers to access capital that would otherwise be beyond their reach. Honorable Deputy Speaker, it gives me a pleasure to announce that since we announced the Agro Fund to date, 9 transactions have been approved, benefiting youth, women, and people with disability. Owned enterprises in poultry production, agro-processing, grain farming, and vegetable production beneficiaries includes, I know they are here, Inkanyezi Poultry in Chief Albert Lutuli Local Municipality, which received 12 million. Excellent by Lebu in Tembisile Hani Local Municipality, which received 5 million. Huku Farms in the Nkomazi Local Municipality, which received 9 million. Shabalala Farming in the Chief Albert Lutuli Local Municipality, which received 5 million. Rags Milling in Dr. J.S. Moroka Local Municipality, which received 15 million. Dr. J.S. Moroka Grain Farmers Cooperative in the Dr. J.S. Moroka Local Municipality, which received 7.5 million. Sibusiso Mokhale in the city of Mbombela, which received 2,086,000 rand. And other agricultural enterprises across the province that are contributing to agricultural growth and rural economic development. These investments, Honorable Deputy Speaker, are already contributing to increased production capacity, job creation, agro-processing development, and the strengthening of agricultural value chain throughout Mpumalanga. Through the Mpumalanga Agro Fund, government is not only providing financial support, but is also creating a pathway for farmers to graduate from grant dependency towards sustainable commercial agriculture, increase participation in formal markets, and long-term economic growth. Notably, the investment will ensure consistent supply of high-quality produce to the Mpumalanga International Food Market, making local farmers active participants in the market and thus major beneficiaries for the reforms we are implementing. Honorable Deputy Speaker, to further advance agricultural transformation, we have gazetted the Mpumalanga Nutrition Sourcing Bill, which seeks to ensure that food purchased by government is sourced as far as possible from farmers and agro-processors within the Mpumalanga through province agri-hubs and the Mpumalanga International Food Market. This will create a demand for local produced vegetable, fruits, grains, meats, eggs, dairy products, and other agricultural commodities. The bill is scheduled for introduction to the provincial legislature during the second quarter for 26-27 financial year. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the successful operationalization of Mkuhlu Agri-Hub marks a significant milestone in strengthening market access and supporting the school nutrition program. We have completed the revitalization of Mkondo Agri-Hub following the storm-related damages. The focus now shifts to onboarding farmers and securing sustainable market arrangements to maximize value of these strategic assets. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we will continue to utilize the government nutrition program as our catalyst for inclusive economic growth by integrating local farmer produce in the value chain for supply of food products to boarding schools and public hospitals across the province. Working with the Department of Education, we are exploring opportunities to extend the provision of nutrition to special schools as a way of providing reliable market for local farmers while contributing to food security and nutrition for learners and patients. Products supplied through the program include fresh vegetables, eggs, meat, grains, and other agricultural produce sourced principally from our local farmers. Through this initiative, government continues to leverage its procurement power to support emerging and smallholder producers while ensuring the delivery of quality food to public institutions. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Amit Kalanch, as an Indian mentalist, once said, "A farmer is a magician who produces money from the mud," close quote. The department's primary focus remains on increasing production across all farming categories while supporting food security and rural livelihoods, ensuring that rural communities generate their own income and create jobs. During the 2026-2027 financial year, support programs will continue to prioritize women, youth, and persons with disability. Of the 12,075 vulnerable households targeted for the support, at least 50% will be women, 20% youth, and 7% persons with disability. We will continue to invest in irrigation infrastructure, protected production system, and climate-smart agricultural production rollout to increase agricultural output and ensure a consistent supply of high-quality produce markets. Among others, these projects include Danica, Elmora Green Irrigation System, and Keletso Trading in Bushbuckridge, Tegwane Farm, Jipa Jolwane, One Touch Investment, and Audalia Farming Greenhouse Tunnels for crop production in the city of Mbombela. Honorable Deputy Speaker, in our efforts to ensure that no one is left behind, we are working side by side with all stakeholders to increase agricultural production in Mpumalanga and maintain our national and international contributions. Recently, we had a very fruitful engagement with Agriculture Mpumalanga commercial farmers who invited us to their annual conference. They raised issues with agricultural enabling infrastructure that needs attention, such as dams and roads. We commit to joining hands with them as they also commit to playing their part, while the government meets them halfway. This is a mutual relationship, and we will continue to meet all organized agriculture of different categories, especially those that represent smallholder and small-scale farmers, such as the African Farmers Association of South Africa, AFASA, and the National African Farmers Union, NAFU. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Robert Aswan warned us that, open quote, "The greatest threat to our planet is the belief that someone else will save it," close quote. As we accelerate agricultural growth and expand production, we remain firmly committed to ensuring that development occurs in harmony with environmental sustainability. Agricultural prosperity and environmental stewardship are mutually reinforcing pillars of sustainable development. Through climate-smart agriculture, conservation farming, sustainable water management, field rehabilitation, and responsible land use practices, we are building resilience against climate change while safeguarding natural resources for future generations. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we remain acutely aware of the devastating impact of recent heavy rains, floods, and animal diseases outbreaks on our farming communities. Thus, our firm recommitment to continued assessment of damages and progressively implementation of recovery interventions and mitigation measures. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we have set aside an amount of 198 million in the 2026-2027 financial year to continue to rehabilitation and restoration of critical agricultural infrastructure and disaster recovery projects, including earth dams, water infrastructure and access roads, bridges, irrigation systems, wells, stormwater infrastructure, and other farming structures essential to agricultural production damaged by floods. Priority will be given to the rehabilitation of my own dam, Senteco, which suffered extensive flood damage and resulted in a directive by the Department of Water and Sanitation to mitigate imminent flooding of downstream rural farm communities in case of dam failure. These interventions are critical to restoring productivity, protecting livelihoods, and strengthening the agricultural sector's resilience to future climate-related disasters. Since April 2025, Mpumalanga has experienced more than 243 foot and mouth disease outbreaks, making it one of the most significant animal health challenges facing our province. Outbreaks have been recorded in all local municipalities except Chabachwewu local municipality. The seriousness of these outbreaks led President Cyril Ramaphosa to declare FMD as a national disaster in February 2026, highlighting the threat of livestock production, food security, rural livelihoods, and agricultural trade. In response, we have intensified disease surveillance, outbreak investigations, movement control measures, quarantine enforcement, biosecurity awareness, and stakeholder engagement with farmers, traditional leaders, municipalities, and industry partners to contain the spread of the disease. Honorable Deputy Speaker, a key intervention in our efforts to protect and grow the livestock sector has been the nationwide foot and mouth disease mass vaccination campaign launched in March 2026. To date, we have vaccinated more than 500,000 cattle as of 5 June 2026, placing the province firmly on track to achieve our target of vaccinating 80% of the estimated 1.9 million cattle's population, approximately 1.5 million animals, by the end of August 2026. This investment is critical to strengthen disease control, protecting livestock assets, and enhancing agricultural productivity. Although the FMD outbreaks negatively affected the export of animals and related animal production, the province continued to sustain trade in disease-free areas and in commodities not affected by the disease. To this end, we have issued 2,990 veterinary health certificates, ensuring continuity of legitimate trade and movement from compliant areas, facilitating the export of approximately 20,000 tons of animal products to international markets, including SADC countries, the United States of America, Peru, Russia, China, Iraq, Jordan, the United Kingdom, the Middle and the Far East, other African countries, and Mexico, demonstrating resilience within controlled and compliant export value chain. Honorable Deputy Speaker, in partnership with the University of Mpumalanga and Hainan Tropical Rice Agricultural Technology Ltd in China, we are embarking on an exciting pilot program for hybrid rice production. 7 cultivars will be tested across multiple sites to determine their sustainability or suitability under different agroecological conditions. This initiative reflects our commitment to innovation, food security, and diversification of agricultural production. Honorable Premier has stated before that this project, upon full implementation, is expected to deliver production yields up to 10 tons per hectare. Job creation of more than 388,000 employment opportunities across the value chain is expected by the time it reaches its full capacity. This will include farmers and farm workers who will be producing on the ground. And indeed, this is where we want to go. We are encouraged by the fact that work has started on the ground. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we have started to revitalize our 2 research farms at Atole and Neugedag for livestock and crop production. The revitalization is focusing on cattle and sheep breeding program to support the request of our livestock farmers on the Masibuyele Sibayeni program. In 2025-2026, we started a Bonsmara cattle and a Doe Merino sheep breeding at Atoll. In the current financial year, 2026-2027 financial year, we will increase our Bonsmara heifers and Doe Merino sheep stock for the Atoll to complete the required set and begin with the Boran cattle and Dopa sheep breeding at Notredach. At present, the program distributes Masibuyele Sibayeni output using its limited existing resources. With the proposed support, and once the breeding program is fully established and operating an optimal capacity, distributing is expected to increase proportionally by 100% compared to current levels. Honorable Deputy Speaker, beyond the numeral increase, the expanded capacity is expected to improve the program's ability to meet growing demand, broaden beneficiary coverage, strengthen genetic improvement objectives, and enhance the program's overall sustainability and impact. We will continue to intensify our efforts to address the waste management challenges by promoting recycling enterprises, strengthening compliance and enforcement, and creating sustainable employment opportunities within the circular economy. Working together with our strategic partners and external stakeholders, we will establish a waste pyrolysis plant in Nkangala. We will continue to implement the Highveld Air Quality Management Plan, monitor ambient air quality at 6 monitoring stations, and deploy innovative technologies to reduce pollution and protect public health. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we will use the National Biodiversity Economy Strategy to unlock economic opportunities linked to the Barberton Makonja World Heritage Site and the Loscott Dam Nature Reserve. These initiatives will promote conservation, tourism, community development, and sustainable job creation. We will further strengthen wildlife protection, promote human-wildlife coexistence, and implement strategies to sustainably manage key species while combating wildlife crime. We work to strengthen provincial capacity to implement the Climate Change Act as a framework for responding effectively to climate change and supporting a transition to a low-carbon, more resilient society. Our ongoing efforts focus on implementing national determined policies to ensure a just transition that balances economic stability, social equity, and environmental resilience, leaving no one behind. Nationally, we continue to advocate through international platforms such as this year's Conference of the Parties, COP31, for developed economies to provide loss and damage, funding to support climate action and just transition. As I conclude, Honorable Deputy Speaker, let me conclude by quoting our father of democracy, Ubaba President Rolihlahla Mandela, who wisely said, pen quote, like slavery and apartheid, poverty is not natural. It is man-made and it can be overcome and eradicated by the actions of human beings, close quote. Therefore, this budget vote is more than a testament of expenditure. It is a statement of intent. It reflects our determination to build a modern, inclusive, and resilient agricultural sector, strengthen food security, create jobs, protecting our environment, and unlock opportunities of all the people of Mpumalanga. Through strategic partnerships, innovation, sound governance, and targeted investment, we remain committed to advancing the priorities of the 7th administration and improving our lives, or the lives of the people. Together, we will build a prosperous, food secure, and sustainable Mpumalanga for generations to come. Honorable Deputy Speaker, I hereby present to the vote to this August House to approve the 2026-2027 financial year budget, which is allocated in 9 programs as follows. Administration, it's 237,951,000. Sustainable resource use and management, it's 80,208,000. Agricultural support and development, 818,607,000. Veterinary services, 172,515,000. Research and technology development services, 78,253,000. Agricultural economics services, 213,298,000. Agricultural education and training, 44,528,000. Rural development coordination, 27,627,000. Environmental affairs, 154,036,000. The total budget of the department for this financial year, it's 1,827,023,000. Honorable Speaker, as I conclude this budget vote, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to all those whose unwavering support, guidance, and commitment continue to enable us to advance agricultural and rural development agenda of our province. Firstly, I wish to extend my heartfelt appreciation to the Honorable Premier Babu Mandlovu for his visionary leadership, steadfast support, and commitment to building a prosperous and inclusive Mpumalanga. Your guidance, Honorable Premier, continues to inspire us to work tirelessly in improving the lives of our people. I also wish to convey our sincere appreciation to the chairperson of the portfolio, Honorable Colin Sidibe, and all members of the committee for their constructive oversight, guidance, and valuable inputs. Your dedication strengthens accountability and assists us in delivering on our mandate more effectively. My gratitude further goes to the head of the department, Mr. Chunda, the executive management team, and all officials of the department. Your professionalism, dedication, and hard work in serving the people of Mpumalanga are the driving force behind the achievements we have presented today. The progress we have made, it is a testament to your commitment and resilience. To the members of my office, thank you for your loyalty, support, and tireless efforts. Your commitment, often going above and beyond, ensures we remain responsive to the needs of our stakeholders and communities. Lastly, Honorable Deputy Speaker, I wish to acknowledge my family. Thank you for your unwavering love, patience, understanding, and encouragement. You remain my pillar of strength and constant source of inspiration as I carry out the responsibilities entrusted to me. Together, let us continue working towards a food secure, economically vibrant, climate resilient, and prosperous Mpumalanga, where agriculture remains catalyst for growth, job creation, and sustainable development. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC Mweketsi, for a well-delivered policy budget speech. I now call upon the Secretary to read the second order of the day.
Order number 2, consideration and debate on a report of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, votes 5, Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development and Environmental Affairs, Honorable MC Sidibe to table the report.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. As the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, I table the report that the House adopt the report as presented. Thank you.
Thank you very much, members. I have now a speakers list in front of me. Then I will then invite members. Honorable Sidibe, you are allocated 6 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, in absentia, Ms. Masilela, the real Speaker. Deputy Speaker, Honorable Masango, Libambela. I see you have developed some ambition to take over as a Speaker full-time. MEC for the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Honorable Muketsi. The Head of Department, Mr. Shunda. Upasope mabahambe because this bongo sakho. Singakufaka traveling. And officials, capable officials from the Department of Dadla. Amakhosi ethu akhona la ngibona ubabiende under Khoshi Mkwena, the chairperson of the House, the entire people of Mpumalanga, and most important, all the farmers and aspiring farmers of Mpumalanga. Deputy Speaker, we wish first to extend our condolences to the Speaker of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature and hope that during this trying time and tough times she could be comforted. Equally, the EFF wishes Bafana well in their opening match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Welcome game in Mexico tonight at 21 o'clock South African time. Our hopes and aspirations are with the team and hope that they make a nation proud. Well, Honorable MEC, I fully agree with you that poverty is not natural, but man-made. I agree with you on this one because this is an admission that the ruling party, the ANC, is failing to fight and tackle poverty and unemployment. Honorable MEC, I'm saying this because the ANC is the ruling party and is in charge, is at the helm of government of the day. And I'm happy to hear that direct from you because this is an open and fair confession that the ANC has no capacity to fight poverty, hunger, and unemployment. The electorate of our country and provinces afforded us all an opportunity to work collaboratively to better their lives and improve the living conditions. The voters who are our true bosses in these chambers have prepared a table of discourse for us to share ideas and work together to create a life that resembles our escape from poverty, unemployment, and inequality. The voters have correctly brought us together in the table of discourse to discharge our responsibility, mindful of the fact that superior logic must always be appreciated so that we can better the lives of our people. As the capable chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, responsible for this department before us, we remain charged with our responsibility to oversee that government through this budget guarantees that all food for local consumption is produced and processed on massive scale in Mpumalanga. We are proud that the department shares the same ideological posture with the EFF that this will happen through the intensification of small-scale farming and agriculture, and by giving strategic support to all small-scale agricultural operations, including providing trade routes, among other things. All food traders in Mpumalanga, in particular in South Africa in general, must be compelled by law to buy South African food products and to support operations that produce this food product. Honorable Speaker, the department is committed to produce 5 black commercial farmers in this financial year, and when we will monitor the process because we supported it as the portfolio committees. For us to guarantee food security and provide the required support to farmers, we must operationalize the Mpumalanga International Food Market. We must equally invest enough resources to maximally benefit from the various agri-hubs in our
As you
regions.
wind up.
The portfolio committee wants this department to ensure that operations and service providers running our agri-hub must be carefully monitored to ensure that no corruption takes place in the agri-hubs. The allegations of corruption raised during our oversight visit in Mkhuhlu agri-hub must be thoroughly investigated. As I wind up, Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate and appreciate the food market operators for their conceptualization of the food market since they were appointed. And lastly, to congratulate HOD Chunda for his reappointment for 5 years as an HOD. And we wish all the best in his best in his responsibility, and hope that will do much better. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. I now call upon Honorable Squagwa from the ANC. You are allocated 8 minutes.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, the leader of government business, Honorable Mashilo, Honorable MECs, member of the Portfolio Committee, and fellow members of the legislature, umungameli we-Contraleza Nkosi Mukwena, amalunga womphakathi kulendlu yesishayamthetho, all protocol observed, ngiyanilotshisa nonke egameni lenhlangano ebusayo i-African National Congress. As we consider the tabled budget vote, it is important to highlight that agriculture is the backbone of our rural economy, food security, and inclusive growth. The department derives its mandate from the following provisions within the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, Section 24, which guarantees everyone the right to an environment that is not harmful to their health and require the state to secure ecological sustainable development and the use of natural resources. Section 25, which mandates the state to take reasonable legislative and other measures within its available resources to foster conditions to enable citizens to gain access to land on an equitable basis. And lastly, Section 27(1)(b), which grants every citizen the right to access to sufficient food and water. Its core mandate is to drive a comprehensive development strategy linked to land reform, sustainable resource management, and economic empowerment. The ANC manifesto places a responsibility on the department to focus its financial resources on food security. These are programs aimed at improving access to affordable, diverse, and sufficient food across the province. Secondly, on the veterinary service by putting more resources in animal health management, monitor abattoirs, and control diseases. Thirdly, provide support for emerging farmers with agricultural resources, technology transfer, agro-processing, and production economics. And lastly, on engineering support for irrigation, farm structures, fencing, and conservation for agricultural land to prevent soil degradation. With the financial resources to be allocated for 2026-27 financial year, the department plans to achieve sustainable agricultural growth enhance rural development, advance equitable land reform, and ensuring the environmental protection. In this province, agriculture contributes 3 to 4% of our GDP. Agriculture intends to continue being the economic driver in the province to create sustainable job opportunities, reduce cost of living, and build a capable state. Honorable Deputy Speaker, under the ANC-led government, we have established agri-hubs in 3 regions to support emerging farmers and small-scale cooperatives by aggregating produce, offering cold storage, and connecting local farmers to Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market. Every year, the department gives seeds and fertilizers to farmers, and priority has been given to rural farmers. We have bought livestock for deserving emerging farmers. The department has provided financial support for emerging farmers in the poultry industry. The department managed to procure jabs for foot and mouth disease and distributed them in the affected areas. The department continued to fund the Mpumalanga International Fresh Produce Market despite its operational challenges. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the primary objectives of the ANC-led government is to uplift and invest in rural farming to be commercial farmers. We fully support the adopted stance by the department to make it compulsory for the departments to buy from local farmers, especially for school nutrition program. The department has outlined its key focus areas for the 2026-27 financial year, which are to finalize and operationalize international fresh produce market, to create jobs and address food insecurity, including supporting farmers to increase production, to strengthen disease surveillance, especially foot and mouth diseases, to build trading relations with international role players and explore markets for agricultural products. The budget continues to prioritize food security initiatives from the community and school nutrition garden to commercial food production schemes, while also reducing the cost of living by expanding the VAT-free food basket as previously announced by the Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we continue to live by the commitment of the Freedom Charter, where food shall be ample and no one shall go hungry. Agriculture can be how we honor that pledge by empowering the people of the province, more especially the young people, to grow food, lead in sustainable farming, and build systems where hunger doesn't exist. It has become a reality that food security can only be achieved through active conclusion of small-scale and subsistence farmers across the province. It is only the ANC that has championed these farmers as the key to transforming our agricultural landscape and bringing previously excluded communities into the mainstream economy. Key amongst the priorities of the department is to make land available for black people as they have been forcefully removed by the apartheid government under the Group Areas Act 41 of 1950. This law was the cornerstone of the apartheid as it was designed to enforce racial segregation and equality. This therefore brings the fundamental land question for black communities that were dispossessed of their land. Expropriation of land without compensation is restorative justice and must be realized. Honorable Deputy Speaker, as I conclude, South Africa, like many other countries, have been affected by global crisis on unjust aggression by US, Israel on Iran in the Middle East. That has resulted to global economic catastrophe whereby the price of fuel has gone up and there is a shortage of supply of fertilizers. Despite all these challenges, our country remains food secure due to the resilience of our farmers and the support of a proactive ANC-led government measures. Even in challenging times, agriculture continues to bring opportunities and hope to the joblessness. Garrison Wayne once said, open quote, "Action and adaptability create opportunities," close quote. Honorable Deputy Speaker, the ANC support the budget vote as tabled by the Honorable MEC. I thank you.
I now call upon Honorable P.E. Shongwe from the MK Party. You are allocated 8 minutes, sir. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, honorable members. Let me salute the President of Mkhonto Wesizwe Party, Jacob Samhlanganelwa Zuma, and all MK Mkhonto Wesizwe ground forces throughout the province. Honorable Speaker, Mkhonto Wesizwe Party rises to oppose the 2026-27 budget vote fund.
Honorable Speaker.
There's a point of order. Honorable Mayor Shongwe, may you take a seat? Honorable Malachi, what's your point of order?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think it's standard that members of the public or the guests must not converse aloud, but we are allowing that, and sooner or later, the House will degenerate. Thank you. Can you address that issue? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. When a matter is happening and it's upon members to raise, and I appreciate that, public, may you afford members an opportunity to conduct their work. You may converse, but not in a manner that is too loud. The rules grant you conversation, but not too loud. That's what Honorable Malachi have alluded. Thank you. You may proceed, Honorable Shongwe. Thank you, Honorable Malachi. We are presented with a 1.8 billion budget, a 13.1% increase, but the people of Mpumalanga are not feeling the growth. What they feel is the collapse of infrastructure, the silence on vacant posts, and the cruelty of the department that doesn't pay its debts. We have identified 5 pillars of failures from the report. 1, the unpaid service providers, a decade of broken trust. Honorable Speaker, this is perhaps the most shameful findings. The department admits that litigation settlements totaling to 32 million in 2025-2026 alone has crippled the budget. These lawsuits are not abstract. They are real people, small business owners, plumbers, electricians, and construction companies who did work for this department up to 10 years ago and have still not been paid. A company, in example, is Indambi General Trading, that of Wusingobe, who has been taken from pillar to post when demanding what is due to him, as indicated earlier on by Honorable Numai. The report shows 7.3 million is budgeted for 2026-2025, just for outstanding and new litigation matters. These are costs that could have built new deep tanks, bought vaccines, and funded ward and yard programs. Instead, the money goes to lawyers because the department refuses to pay service providers on time. What message does this send? If you are an SME in Mombela, Emalahleni, or Emakazeni, do not work for the agricultural department. They will use your labor, occupy your goods, and leave you waiting a decade for payment to be paid. Number 2, the infrastructure failure. 29 million wasted on Amakosi tunnels. The department invested 25 million in tunnels to fight hunger. The report reveals tunnels are not operational. Msokwaba, Gujwa. 2, no assigned individual to look after the tunnels, Mbuyane. Partial water crisis, Mhlaba, Mawewe. A water pump stolen, Lugedlan. You build, you pay, you leave. This is not development. It is a job program for contractors, not a good security program, not a good food security program for the community. 3, the human resource failure. 2,129 ghost workers. The department claims it has 3,301 posts, but 2,129 of these are contract EPWP workers, not even budgeted for under the compensation of employees line item. These people are not, do not exist on paper. They have no guarantee of payment. Furthermore, of 134 advertised posts, 37 remain unfilled due to labor dispute and unethical behavior in Gersibande. And next year, the post establishment drops from 3,301 to 1,172. The question is, what happens to the 2,129 workers? Number 4, the structural failure. No budget for women, youth, or disabled farmers. Mkhonto Wesizwe Party is appalled. The department has no dedicated budget, I repeat, no dedicated budget or or women agricultural ward, youth and agricultural yard, or people with disabilities. Support is ad hoc, meaning only if you have a connection. People with disabilities have no formal structure. I repeat, no formal structure at all. This is 2026. We have a constitution. This is unacceptable. Number 5, foot and mouth failure, a disaster budget cut. FMD outbreaks is a national disaster, yet department disaster budget was cut by 49.9%. Communities do not relate to control measures because there is no engagement strategies. You cannot vaccinate 14 million cattle with a broken budget and no community trust. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, the department has failed to implement previous House rules. One resolution is closed and not implemented. The Zodinsila workers still lack tools of trade. An increase in budget without accountability is a theft of public trust. Therefore, Umkhonto Wesizwe Party will not support budget vote 5. Umkhonto Wesizwe Party demands 1, public register to all unpaid service providers with amounts and 10 dates. Freeze on new infrastructure until the Amakosi tunnels are audited. A creditable HR plan accounting for all 3,300 posts. A ring-fenced 5% for yard and disability. The people of Mpumalanga, Honorable Speaker, cannot wait another 10 years for payment. The time for excuses is over. I thank you. Thank you very much. I now call upon Honorable T. Marshals from DA. You are allocated 5 minutes.
Good morning, Honourable Acting Speaker, members of the House, MEC, all other protocol observed. Honourable Speaker, in a province where citrus, sugarcane, macadamias, maize and cattle put food on tables and keep rural communities alive, the budget before us should be driving growth. Instead, it's applying the brakes. The department's allocation falls from 1.99 billion to 1.827 billion this year, a reduction of 164 million rand. The department openly admits that its budget has declined by 8.3% from the baseline, and next year it declines again. The members opposite will call this fiscal discipline. It's not. Fiscal discipline is protecting what produces, what creates jobs, and what feeds people. This budget cuts precisely those things. The clearest example is capital investment. The money used to build irrigation systems, agricultural infrastructure, veterinary facilities, and rural development projects has been slashed from 546 million rand to just 182 million rand. A 2/3 cut. Let that sink in. In the same breath that the department tells us floods cause substantial damage to agricultural infrastructure, it cuts the infrastructure budget by 67%. That is like arriving at a house on fire and selling the fire engine. You cannot rebuild irrigation schemes with press statements. You cannot repair flood damage with good intentions. And you certainly cannot grow agriculture by starving investment. Meanwhile, compensation of employees now consumes 830 million rand, 45% of the entire vote. The DA supports paying veterinarians, extension officers and frontline personnel, but a department is not measured by how many salaries it pays. It is measured by how many farmers it keeps farming. And the grants that actually reach farmers? The Ilima Letsema grant disappears entirely. Gone. 78 million rand that helped emerging farmers and subsistence farmers buy inputs, plant crops, and stay productive has simply vanished from the budget. The CAPS grants dropped from 488 million rand to 273 million rand. So while the department speaks endlessly about empowering emerging farmers, the funding that empowers them is being quietly removed. Honourable Speaker, the foot-and-mouth disease outbreak has devastated the livestock sector. Exports have collapsed, jobs have been lost, and producers continue to suffer. The department calls it a national disaster. The DA agrees. But if it is truly a disaster, where is the disaster scale funding? A crisis of this magnitude cannot be funded through what the department calls reprioritization. That is a government language for moving money around and hoping nobody notices. Then we arrive at the most remarkable part of this budget. On one page we are told that hybrid rice projects will create hundreds of thousands of jobs and add billions to the economy. And on the other page, we find a budget that cuts infrastructure, cuts farmer support, and shrinks year after year. Honourable Speaker, you cannot table a shrinking budget and a fairy tale in the same document and expect us to believe it. Ambition without funding is not a plan, it's a press release. The Democratic Alliance would do things differently. We would protect infrastructure before bureaucracy. We would ring-fence foot-and-mouth funding. We would support emerging farmers with real resources, not slogans. Agriculture is one of the few sectors capable of driving growth and absorbing workers in a changing provincial economy. Yet, this budget asks farmers to do more with less, recover with less, and grow with less. The Democratic Alliance cannot support a budget that cuts capital investment by 2/3, abandons emerging farmers, and expect promises to substitute for funding. A growing Mpumalanga is built in the fields, not in the filing cabinets. I thank you.
Thank you. I now call upon Honorable T.S. Mavimbela from the ANC. You are allocated 8 minutes, Madam.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Honorable members of the House, distinguished guests, Chairperson and members of the Portfolio Committee on Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Chairperson of Contralesa Hoshim Kwena, and all protocol observed. Honorable Speaker, the Mpumalanga Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs aim to lead sustainable agricultural growth, rural development, land reform and environmental management so Mpumalanga communities can live dignified, food secure lives with a healthy environment, which are broken down into 4. Agriculture. Increase food security and production for local consumption and exports. Support smallholder, communal and commercial farmers with extension services. Inputs, training and market access. Drive agro-processing and agri-industry development to create jobs. Rural development. Reduce poverty in rural development programs so communities can get water, electricity and social facilities. Empower rural SMMEs and cooperatives. Land. Facilitate land reform, restitution, redistribution, and tenure security. Ensure land is used productively and transferred. Resolve land disputes and support beneficiaries with post-settlement support. Environmental affairs. Protect, conserve, and manage Mpumalanga's natural resources, forest, water, biodiversity, air quality. Enforce environmental laws and do impact assessments for development projects. Address climate change, pollution, and waste management. Honorable Speaker and members, how it ties together, the idea is nexus approach. You can't do agriculture without land. You can't sustain farming without healthy environment. And rural people need all 3 to escape poverty. And the department tries to link them instead of working in silos. The current focus on the 7th administration has been pushing food security, rural job creation, and environmental compliance as the 3 big pillars. plus fixing infrastructure damaged in 26-27 financial year, floods that hit farms and rural roads. When we vote on this budget, therefore, we are not merely approving administrative expenditure. We are resourcing the center of the department to coordinate delivery, enforce accountability, accelerate reform, rebuild state capacity, and give practical expressions to the priorities of the medium-term development plan: inclusive growth and job creation, poverty reduction, a capable state, and a society funded on human dignity, equality, and non-racialism. Honorable Speaker and members, the department's annual performance plan is aligned with the medium-term development plan, and it will usher in the priorities of the 7th administration, most of which are encapsulated in the 24 manifesto of the ruling party, the African National Congress. The pro-poor plan is presented that must be pioneered to realize the ethos of the Freedom Charter. Honorable Speaker and honorable members, the department has outlined clear strategies to address the MTSF priorities from 25 to 30 and encapsulated in the National Development Plan, sector plans, and provincial growth and development plan. The 26-27 priority plan, APP, and budget are geared to respond to the basic sector needs country within the principles of the 4th Industrial Revolution. The APP of the department is compliant with the National Treasury's framework for strategic plan and APPs. The tabling procedure and time frames of the legislature were also compiled during the budget process. Honorable Speaker, we note the pro-poor plan presented by the department in the following: catalytic projects and economic recovery. The department prioritizes the operationalization catalyst project to transform the provincial agricultural landscape and unlock investment. Key projects include Mpumalanga International Food Market to strengthen market access and value chain, Inkanyezi Poultry Project to expand local production and agro-processing, Mkondo Agri-Hub to repair and revitalize infrastructure for farmer support, Agri-Mall Initiative to improve market linkages for emerging farmers. These projects are aligned with no priorities 1, 2, and 3 of the MTDP and target participation of black farmers, women, youth, and cooperatives. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the African National Congress, I rise to express our unequivocal support for the adoption of Budget Vote 5 of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. I thank you.
Thank you very much. We now invite Honorable Weber from FF Plus. You have 3 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, can I do my presentation from here?
Asseblief toch, ja.
Yes. Honorable Speaker, nginenkinga lapha mangibamba isiZulu ngathi aningilaleli kahle ngoba ngathi kugcwele amashangane lapha. Mangizama isingisi siyangehlula ngangisithanda isingisi. Manje ake ngibambe isibhunu ngoba amabhunu anolaka. Achtbare Speaker, ek het met groot belangstelling geluister na al die bedrae wat aan landbou bestee word. Ek sien nie daardie geld nie. Lama kande lani kwabantu lapha asiwabone, ake sihlangane lapho chief ukuthi sibone ukuthi sihlale phansi sikhulume le ndaba ngoba iyangehlula le nto. Achtbare Speaker, daar is 'n paar hoekstene nodig vir suksesvolle landbou. Eerste een en is ononderhandelbaar gewaarborgde eienoomsreg. Die tweede is infrastruktuur sodat ons produkte by die markte kan uitkom. Die derde is 'n landbouvriendelike omgewing, 'n landbouvriendelike omgewing. Die regering is die landbou nie vriendelik gesind nie. Ek is self 'n boer. Ek het probeer om medisyne te kry vir back and closure, foot and mouth disease. Ek kon dit nie kry nie. Die hantering van back and closure was vir ons 'n verleentheid. It was a disaster. The handling of the foot and mouth disease was a disaster, Honorable Speaker. Nou, we have, wat ons nodig het is 'n landbouvriendelike omgewing. Op hierdie stadium het ons dit nie. En die infrastruktuur in Suid-Afrika is besig in duie te stort. Ons moet ons produkte by die markte gaan kry en ons kry dit nie reg nie. Ons 'n geweldige stap vorentoe, a giant step into the future was the establishment of the Mpumalanga fresh produce market. I congratulate the government with that achievement. It will make a good deal for us to deliver our goods to the market. Siyabonga kakhulu Sihlalo.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Ufuna lo mhlaba wethu. Ufuna amaganda njani untshontshe kangaka?
We now proceed, honorable members. I will now invite Honorable FT Mashiane from Action SA. You are allocated 3 minutes, madam.
Thank you, Speaker. Let me first greet the best mayor that the city of Johannesburg once had, my president, Herman Mashaba, and also greet the president of NAFU in the province, Mr. J.L. Mahlangu. Honorable Speaker, Action SA has carefully considered Budget Vote 5 for the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. We note the department's budget increase of 818.6 million allocated to agricultural producer support and development. This reflects government's recognition of agriculture as a key driver of food security, economic growth and job creation in Mpumalanga. Action SA supports investment in agriculture. We support emerging farmers, rural development and programs that create sustainable economic opportunities for our people. However, our support for this budget is accompanied by serious concerns regarding implementation and accountability. While funding for agricultural support has increased, the food security program budget has declined significantly. We are equally concerned by delays in key agricultural infrastructure projects. Approximately 29 million has been invested in the Amakosi tunnel program. Yet several tunnels remain non-operational due to water supply and maintenance challenges. Similarly, uncertain remains around the funding of the Sentico Dam project. Honorable Speaker, Action SA welcomes the increased allocation to veterinary services and efforts to combat foot and mouth disease. But our concern is that the reduction of 49.9% on the disaster risk. It is concerning how the department will be able to adequately protect farmers with such reduction in funding. However, we remain concerned by the department's expenditure on litigation, which amounted to 32 million during the previous financial year. Every rand spent defending court cases is a rand that cannot be invested in supporting farmers, improving infrastructure or strengthening food security. The people of Mpumalanga are not interested in plans alone. They want functioning infrastructure, support for farmers, improved food security, and measurable results.
As you wind up.
For this reason, Action SA will support Budget Vote 5. However, we will continue to exercise strict oversight to ensure that the commitments made by the department are translated into tangible outcomes for farmers, rural communities, and people of Mpumalanga. I thank you.
Thank you very much. I now invite Honorable L.R. Muneni from the ANC. You are allocated 8 minutes.
Honorable Speaker, allow me to stand on the protocol that has been sufficiently established, and my special greetings to the Premier who has just joined us here. Honorable Speaker, up front I would want to indicate that we are supporting the budget. Unlike the previous speakers who stood here before me, because I'm privileged, Honorable Speaker, that I'm sitting in the Portfolio Committee of Dudley, and where we dealt and adopted the APPs, and we can't allow our colleagues to come here and grandstand because none of them rejected the budget that was presented here. Honorable Speaker, it is common knowledge and without any doubt that We are hailing from a fragmented dispensation where a large proportion of people, predominantly black were operating in the periphery of the mainstream economic, social, and political schemes of things due to the enactment of the legislation purported to prioritize a few at the expense of the masses. As we celebrate Youth Month, let me pay homage to our fallen heroes and heroines and say that though their spirit departed, but the conviction and struggle they chartered is still with us to date. The participation of young people in the liberation struggle preceded the student uprising of June 16, 1976. Before the establishment of the African National Congress Youth League in 1944, young people had been participating in numerous political campaigns in response to measures and laws affecting black people. So as young people, we have been instrumental in the fight for freedom. Today, what is required and the trajectory our government has taken is the involvement and participation of all in the economic mainstream. In this regard, our province's economic cornerstone is agriculture and many others. Mpumalanga is one of South Africa's most productive and important agricultural regions and plays a key role in the export profile of South Africa. For example, summer cereals and legumes which consist of maize, soya, canola, sunflower, tropical and subtropical citrus fruits, nuts and sugar cane are cultivated in the province. Equally, the province has livestock farmers with various breeds. The province contributes substantially to South Africa's food security. In all this produce, the department plays a pivotal role in providing the necessary support through experts, mechanization, seeds, and ensuring that farmers excel in what they do. Honorable Speaker, though there is an elephant in the room, historically a large proportion of our population were not involved in commercial agriculture, but more involved in substantial farming through backyard gardens, etc. What is further cumbersome, though substantial strides are made, is that this large proportion of the population, mainly Africans, lack the necessary expertise in agriculture and its various subfields. Post-1994, the democratic government took a resolve to balance the imbalances of the past by ensuring that those who are included are mainstreamed in the agricultural sector. Therefore, the mammoth task of this department cannot be left unnoticed, and that most of the programs it discharges seek to ensure equal access and support for all in the sector. In doing so, the department lead and facilitate an integrated, comprehensive and sustainable development and social cohesion by participating and partnering with all sectors of society through agriculture, rural development and land administration. Its strategic goals are to support the development of the sustainable agrarian reform and the large farming sector, improve access to affordable and diverse food, improve services to support healthy livelihoods, create rural jobs and promote sustainable economic livelihoods, and improve the institutional delivery environment by ensuring that there are credible integrated development plans and skills audit. Honourable Speaker, zooming into the department's program requires the appropriation of substantial financial resources. For example, in making the agricultural environment conducive, the department provides support to farmers to strengthen market access and value chains. This has been done through ensuring that there are agri-hubs across province which feed into the international fresh produce market, or rather food market production programs such as Pezugom Kolom Limi. It will enhance food production, and equally programs programs such as Masibile Esibayeni seek to increase support for farmers by embarking on strategic breeding programs for cattle and sheep through research farms. Similarly, animal health and biosecurity remains a priority for the department to provide vaccines and boosters to livestock such as cattle, Critical to note is the state of veterinarians have been deployed across municipalities to curb foot and mouth disease. Honourable Speaker, continuous training and mentoring of our farmers remain our key priority. This is done to improve productivity, market readiness. The agricultural sector is gradually taking a turn in order to be on par with technological advancement, where innovation and diversification is required, which include hybrid rice and breeding programs. It is then required that the department ensures that farmers are on board and able to swiftly respond and be customized to technological advancement. Our province is predominantly rural. Most rural areas in our province have arable land, but also provide an opportunity for livestock farming. It is therefore incumbent on the department to leverage on this in terms of its rural development approach. It is equally a known fact, Honourable Speaker, that women have been involved in subsistence farming time immemorial. The collaboration with the structures which represent women, such as Women Agricultural and Rural Development, is noted with, which will cascade in establishing district and provincial structures. This will ensure that rural women in agriculture are well coordinated. Similarly, our province is a youthful one, and targeting the segment of the population to be involved in agriculture is key. Is key because they are economically active, and it will have ripple effects, several issues such as curbing unemployment, etc. Honourable Speaker, we want to thank you for this opportunity, and once again, we support this budget. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now call upon the Honourable MEC, PK Mweketsi, from the ANC.
Thank you very much, Honourable Acting Speaker. And let me start by welcoming the comments from the honourable members. Honourable Speaker, I wish to acknowledge firstly the comment from Honourable Sedipe. And while he argues that the governing party has failed to eradicate poverty, it is important, Honourable Speaker, to recognize the significant progress made through government programs supporting food security, agricultural development, land reform, and rural livelihoods. Poverty remains a challenge, but many lives have been improved through those interventions. And we also appreciate his recognition of the department's efforts in agricultural production and his support for the operationalization of the Mpumalanga International Food Market. Honourable Speaker, from Honourable Skwakwa, we really appreciate the support as the department. Also, we reaffirmed the importance of government programs aimed at food security, land reform, and rural development. We agree that these interventions must continue to be intensified. Honourable Shongwe, a member of the Portfolio Committee, emotional. Honourable Shongwe, we appreciate the comment. And some of the issues that we have raised, you know, we have explained in the committee. Some, they are not true, that we are not filling any vacant position as the department. We have presented before the committee that out of the 119 that we have advertised, we have already filled some vacant positions, and the recruitment process is continuing. And we have explained that why other posts were re-advertised, because of the information we got from the whistleblowers that there are officials who are misbehaving there. And we went there and intervened as a department. We started to process afresh, and we put aside those officials. We took over that process as a department here to ensure that everything is transparent. But we appreciate everything that you have raised, and I wanted to correct this. Honorable Deputy Speaker, concerning the service providers that Honorable Member says they are not paid from the department, we always ensure that the department pays the service providers. The one service provider that is mentioned here, which I have explained when the Honorable Member during the motions when he raised it, that I will go back and investigate. And from information that I got from the department, that service provider was called before the department through the investigations that were done. But I want to affirm to the Honorable Member that I will still go back and investigate on that particular matter. Honorable Deputy Speaker, on the ghost workers, we know that there is a regular physical verification that is done in the department, and personal audits are conducted. The recent one that we have received, it did not bring out any information that they are ghost workers. So Honorable Member will also verify on that one. Honorable Marshall has expressed a concern about the budget reduction in certain programs. Honorable Speaker, I want to make this clear that the previous one, I think the Honorable Member is referring to, it was the one that included the disaster funds, the allocation of disaster fund. I think that is the reason Honorable Member is saying that disaster on the allocation on capital projects has been reduced. The budget adjustment reflects strategic reprioritization and the reduction in the service bill. Our personnel remains the backbone of service delivery and essential to achieving our development objectives. Disaster response mechanisms remain in place through established government processes. We appreciate Honorable Weber's comment and congratulating us as the department on the work that we have done in the Mpumalanga International Food Market. The department is implementing a phased mechanization program to improve farmers' access to tractors. Honorable Weber, uyawabona amagandaganda kodwa manje uthi awusawaboni. Si-department sinilalele la uma nikhuluma ngawo, sabuyela emuva njengoba nishilo as honorable members ukuthi sihambe siyobheka lawa angasasebenzi, siwabuyise ndawonye, sibone ukuthi ayakhona ukulunga na, noma funa siwakhiphe sikwazi ukuthola leyo mali siyothenga amagandaganda. Ne-portfolio committee advisile yathi kunokuthi niqhubeke nihayare, thathani leyo mali nihambe nothenga ngayo amagandaganda. Neze show ukuthi njalo ngonyaka wemali kuba khona nikuthengayo noma ningaze nithenge yodwa, so that amagandaganda lawo washoyo azoba maningi, ama-farmers wethu aqhubeke enze umsebenzi. We also want to appreciate from Honorable Mashiane for the supporting of the budget. Infrastructure development remains a priority, while litigation expenditure is managed responsibly and often arises from legal obligations necessary to protect the interests of the state. I think the one Honorable Member is talking about are the legacy litigation, which we are trying hard as a department to reduce. We further appreciate the support from the Honorable Nini, who recognizes the importance of the program contained in this budget and the impact they will have on the pupils of Mpumalanga. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much, MEC. That then concludes the debate. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion or the report tabled by Honorable Sidibe.
Agreed.
Thank you very much for agreed. I now invite the Secretary to read the third order of the day.
Order number 3, policy and budget speech on vote 12, Department of Social Development.
I now call upon the Honorable MEC of Social Development, Department of Development, MEC Klope, to deliver the police budget speech.
Nawe umuhle MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Premier, Mr. Mandla Ndlovu, and members of the Executive Council, Honorable Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Ntombizoto Makhabane, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Honorable Nkonyani, and members of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development, Honorable members of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature, the executive mayors present here and all councillors, in particular the members of the MEC on Social Development, the members of the Mayoral Committee for Community Safety, the House Traditional Leader, Chairperson and Deputy Chair Khoshi Mokoena and Babuyende, the Director General, Ms. Kosana, the heads of departments, in particular the head of Department on Social Development, Mayor Ratebe, and the entire employees of Social Development, all Mpumalanga communities, the pastors that are present here, in particular Pastor Dr. Mukhaladi, members of the media, distinguished guests, Lochan, Dumela, okay. Deputy Speaker, I am greatly honored and privileged to address this August House and the people of Mpumalanga on the performance of the Department of Social Development and its plans in this financial year. We do so, Deputy Speaker, at a time when our province, particularly the department, continue to confront poverty, unemployment, substance abuse, gender-based violence, and inequality. We stand before this House confidently that through the collective efforts of government, communities, social partners, significant progress has been made in improving the lives of our people. Over the past financial year, we strengthened support to vulnerable households, expanded food security interventions, created over 800 extended public works program opportunities, empowered women through funded NPOs program, extended service to older persons and persons with disability, intensified the fight against substance abuse, and strengthened protection services for children and victims of gender-based violence. These achievements, Honorable Deputy Speaker, reaffirms our commitment to building resilient communities and restoring dignity to our people, particularly the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized. As we render this address, we do so shortly after commemorating the historic Freedom Charter, a cornerstone of our democratic values. We are reminded of Clause 6, which boldly declares that all shall enjoy human rights. This clause, Deputy Speaker, speaks directly to the heart of social development and assurance that every South African should have access to a life of dignity, safety, and well-being. It compels us as a department to ensure that our interventions are not only restorative but transformative, creating the social infrastructure that empowers individuals and communities alike. Deputy Speaker, the 7th administration of the current government of national unity adopted 3 priorities for the medium-term development plan, 2024 to 2029. Priority number 1 is inclusive economic growth and job creation. Priority number 2, reduce poverty and tackle the high cost of living. And priority number 3, a capable, ethical, and a developmental state. The Department of Social Development is tasked with the responsibility to lead and coordinate priority number 2, which is to reduce poverty and tackle the high cost of living. The department has been entrusted with the responsibility to champion an inclusive and responsive social protection system designed to give effective to Chapter 11 of National Development Plan 2030. This is unequivocally directive to commit ourselves to the eradication of poverty, the reduction of inequality, the improvement of collaboration with civil organizations. Undoubtedly, this we shall continue to do despite the limitation often imposed on us by realities on the ground. The department has developed a strategic plan 2025-29 and an annual performance plan 26-27 that reflects the important interventions in improving integrated social development services. This document seeks to realize the department's visions, which is a caring and a self-reliant society. Through the promotion and protection of quality and sustainable livelihoods of the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized groups, to deal with social ills such as gender-based violence, poverty, child abuse, substance abuse, food insecurity, social crime, HIV and AIDS, and other hostile social disorder. In terms of care and services to family, Honorable Deputy Speaker, family play a central and primary role in the development. Socialization and nurturing of family members and members of the community. Healthy families contribute immensely to healthy society. Despite existing policies and programs, inequalities within communities continue to widen, disproportionately affecting vulnerable families and children. Key challenges faced by families and children include limited access to integrated family support services, weak parenting capacity in high-risk communities, social disconnection between generations, increased exposed children and adolescents to social risks such as substance abuse, violence, and school dropout. Deputy Speaker, the challenges necessitated a comprehensive and inclusive approach that strengthens families as a foundation for social well-being. In recognizing the role of families in the community, the department celebrated the International Day for Families in 2025 under the theme Family-Oriented Policies for Sustainable Development, Building Resilient Families. We conducted conversation between youth, parents, and older persons on challenges faced by families and came up with the solutions in building resilient families in the modern world. This year, honorable members, our focus as we continue to celebrate families is on addressing families' inequalities and child well-being. It is our firm belief that when we have strong and healthy families, we will have less of the social ills currently engulfing our communities, which include child abuse, substance abuse, gender-based violence and femicide, teenage pregnancy, and others. We are therefore strengthening our family preservation services and parenting program to build resilient families. In the past financial year, a total of 7,826 were reached through family preservation programs. This financial year, the department will continue to service beneficiaries in the family preservation program. In terms of child care and protection, Deputy Speaker, the Department of Social Development has the responsibility to provide care and protection to vulnerable children. The protection of children remains a paramount importance because children are the future leaders of our province and indeed our country. One of the mechanisms of highlighting children's issues is the annual commemoration of the Child's Protection Month and the International Children's Day. The department has adopted a 5-year theme linked to 5-year global commitment on ending violence against children by 2030. In adopting this theme, we are committing to ensure that we accelerate the implementation of the prevention and early intervention program, strengthening collaboration and coordinating amongst key stakeholders for prevention and management of violence against children, and promoting healing of victims through intensified provision of services throughout the 365 days. Members, I am delighted to be joined by Nogwanda Kube, a former resident of Uzwelo Child and Youth Care Center, a center which we fund as a department. Nogwanda Kube graduated with a Bachelor of Education from University of KwaZulu-Natal with the financial assistance of NEFSAS and a stipend from Uzwelo Child and Youth Care. This young woman of 22 years is currently in our midst, honorable members and distinguished guests. I wish her to just rise and so that we applaud her. No. Thank you very much, Nogwanda. Indeed, our NPO, Honorable Premier, are doing the very solid work. Hence, we produce the graduates that have lived in our centers. In the past financial year, the department placed 264 children in foster care. A total of 1,405 children were admitted in the child and youth care centers, while a total of 30,015 children were reached through our community-based care intervention. In this financial year, the department will continue to reach more children through community-based intervention. Honorable members, the department in the previous financial year reached 30,015 beneficiaries through community-based prevention and early interventions program. In this financial year, the department will continue to target beneficiaries to be reached through community-based prevention and early interventions program. In terms of poverty and social relief, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the cost of living in South Africa as a whole has risen to a point families and individuals often find life unbearable. Social relief of distress intervention, the SRT, are temporary provision of assistance by government to individuals and their families. However, Social Assistance Act number 13 of 2004 contains the criteria this individual must comply with to be considered for these services. In the last financial year, a total of 10,423 individuals benefited from the social relief of distress. And in this financial year, the department is planning to provide for qualifying communities and individual people with social relief of distress intervention. The harsh economic condition and rate of unemployment have surely exposed our people to complete food insecurity and justify our call to all our partners to come forward to deal with the demon of poverty. Honorable Deputy Speaker, we have partnered with such as Vodacom, Old Mutual, Red Cross, Gift of the Givers, including other social partners, because the government alone will not reach everyone, who have donated significantly to the victims who have been affected by floods that occurred in our province last year. More partners are invited to join us as a department to ensure that together we alleviate severe poverty. Deputy Speaker, the girl child is considered as a future leader and a mother of the nation by the department. Her education should never be disrupted at all costs. Allow me to quote former President of Burkina Faso, the famous one, Comrade Thomas Sankara, when he said, open quote, "Comrades, there is no true social revolution without the liberation of a woman. May my eyes never see and my feet never take to a society where half of the people are held in silence. I hear the roar of women's silence," close quote. It is on that note that the provision of dignity sanitary towel to schools remain one of the department's priority. Reports show positive impact on the beneficiary lives in the province. A total of 99,261 learners in Quintile 1 schools were supported with sanitary dignity packs in the past financial year. In this financial year, the department is planning to reach the lives of deserving young girls learners, whether in Gwamhlanga, in Tembisilehane local municipality, or Bedekop in Dr. Pixie Gaiseme local municipality, or Dludluma in Nkomazi local municipality, and other municipalities where they are deserving young girls learners. We will ensure our dignity pet drive reaches all deserving girl learners. In terms of sustainable livelihoods and poverty alleviation, Deputy Speaker, in our endeavor to empower households and communities towards the livelihood strategies for self-sufficiency, the department will work in collaboration with the African Development Banks towards the support of the household initiatives. The bank has pledged to fund and support 60 households in the current financial year, with the hope to upscale the number of 2,000 in the subsequent year. Furthermore, Deputy Speaker, the African Development Bank has planned to work in collaboration with the department towards the celebration of the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty by holding a conference. Bringing capital to communities to spur youth entrepreneurship in Mpumalanga. The specific objective of conference will cover the following aspects: raise awareness of financial opportunity available through the AFDB supported families, commercial banks, development finance institution, blended finance mechanism, and public enterprise support programs. They will also cover the promote social enterprises, community-owned models, stokvel, like linked enterprises to cooperatives, and vehicles for inclusive development and local wealth creation. And also deal with the highlight green economy opportunity linked to a just energy transition, including renewable energy value chains, green manufacturing, agribusiness, recycling, sustainable services and community-based, and many other aspects that they will cover, Honorable Deputy Speaker. The conference will be designed as an interactive action-oriented platform connecting young aspiring entrepreneurs from vulnerable communities with financing and business opportunity and structures around 3 interlinked pillars. The department will continue to coordinate social facilitation and poverty alleviation programs for sustainable livelihoods. Intervention in programs and services will include, amongst others, the food security, DSD feeding programs, including for food parcels, soup kitchens, drop-in centers, social cooperatives, income-generating projects, community education and awareness, providing support to vulnerable groups, promoting local food production and consumption for healthy foods, as well as the expanded public works. The essence of this program is to empower individuals, households, and communities to pursue different livelihood strategies by building on material, social, tangible, and intertangible assets which people have within the communities or a household. Livelihood diversification provides a holistic and integrated mechanism through which people can improve their livelihoods. The program will facilitate coordination and support various program services and intervention and livelihood strategy for individuals, households, and communities. In an endeavor to continue enhancing the livelihoods of the poor, vulnerable, and marginalized, the department reached 710 individuals benefiting from poverty reduction initiative through the Sustainable Livelihoods Program to improve the socio-economic situation. In this financial year, the Department of Social Development will provide qualifying individuals benefiting from poverty reduction initiative through a sustainable livelihood. Deputy Speaker, in the previous financial year, 2,761 individuals were reached through the CNTC feeding programs. In this financial year, will continue to support the deserving CNTC NPOs. In terms of youth development, Honorable Speaker, the youth population in the province has increased. Youth unemployment is at its highest ever. The need to address this has become more urgent. In this financial year, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the Tanji Youth Development Center will be fully operational to provide the much needed services and empowerment programs to young people of the city of Mbombela. In the financial year, of 2025-26, 51 youth development centers were supported. The department will continue to support the youth development center that are deserving. In terms of women development, honorable members, partnering with the National Department of Women, Youth and Persons with Disability will be able to support women initiatives. In the last financial year, the department supported 3 NPOs and they managed to reach 2,809 women participating in empowerment programs. In this financial year, we'll continue to support all those women participating in empowerment programs. In terms of support of non-profit organization, Honorable Deputy Speaker, the department is a custodian of NPO Act 71 of 97 and therefore mandated to register organizations as NPO, build capacity and monitor compliance with NPO Act by the NPOs. It provides capacity enhancement to NPOs in the areas on governance, financial accountability, and compliance with all relevant legislative frameworks and policies in partnership with other stakeholders, which include, amongst others, National Department of Social Development, NPOs branch, South African Revenue Services, Department of Employment and Labor, Department of Home Affairs, Municipality, Independent Development Trust, National Lotteries Commission, and private sector companies that implement cooperate social investment programs such as BASCO, SASOL, and ESCOM. The help desk in all 17 local municipalities for NPOs remain functional and to access online services which assist them with registration, information and submission of the reports and other relevant documents for compliance purposes. The department was able to reach out and provide support to NPOs mainly on capacity building and compliance with the NPO Act. Honorable members, the department will continue to extend its support and services to various number of NPOs through the NPO Roadshow outreach, education, and awareness campaign in partnership with the stakeholder mentioned above as I indicated, and we will continue to further monitor the NPOs as part of the responsibility and given by the Act of NPOs. On older persons, Deputy Speaker, in the last financial year, centenarians were honored in Stiefjoy, the municipality, to promote longer and healthy lives for older persons. In the last year, financial year, the department reached 1,096 older persons who access services in residential facilities, and a total of 5,981 were reached through community-based care and support services. On a serious, sober note, Honorable Deputy Speaker, our active aging program lost two members who were part of the executive, Mr. Jimmy Machika and Mr. Metu Ngwenya, which we wish to pass our condolences to them and their families, and we recognize their contribution and involvement in the active aging program. We'll solemnly miss them by the active aging program family. May indeed their soul rest in peace. In terms of services to persons with disability, the department will continue to prioritize the collaboration with the Department of Health. This collaboration will facilitate intervention and programs targeting children with disability from infants. Additional to that, the department will expand community responsive programs by developing and implementing daycare centers programs for individuals with disability, even at an age above 18. These programs will provide an alternative institution and addressing the growing demand for residential care services. A total number of 1,897 beneficiaries benefited from the services provided by the funded protective workshop, and in this year, the department will continue providing persons with disability access to services in a funded protective workshops. In terms of substance abuse, Deputy Speaker, in our hand to address substance abuse disorder in the province, our inpatient treatment center in the last financial year embarked on a roadshow which were called Siyabalanza. Siyabalanza aimed at creating awareness on the services rendered by the centers and discouraging communities to utilize unregistered facilities. Deputy Speaker, I am glad to announce that through the initiative Siyabalanza, 43 service users were admitted on the spot and went through the treatment in Swartfontein and Nkangala inpatient treatment. I am also thrilled to announce, Deputy Speaker, that Mr. Zaba Sambo, who hails from Gwapogeni in Bombela local municipality, was admitted at Swartfontein Treatment Center last year, is currently attending aftercare session at Lapeng Foundation in Gwapogeni. I am also happy to announce that Mr. Siyabonga Shabalala from Standerton in Gersibande district is currently employed to work with a subcontractor company responsible for maintenance at Tutuga Power Station, and Mr. Innocent Mkonza from Standerton has now been employed as a filter turner at an early bird farm Standerton. Madam Speaker, I am happy to announce that these young men and they are product of our inpatient treatment center, and this is indeed a good story to tell that we admit and people, they go out and move on with their lives. They are also here in our midst. You can applaud them. Deputy Speaker, in the last financial year, in collaboration with funded NPO and other relevant stakeholders like South African Police Services and Department of Justice, the department reached a total of 142,284 through awareness campaign conducted on substance abuse. Ulwazi lungcono kunokulapha. Prevention is better than cure. A total of 2,783 service users accessed substance abuse disorder treatment services in the last financial year, and in this financial year, the department will continue to intensify visibility and access for service users to access the substance abuse disorder treatment so that they can move on with their lives like the indicated individuals earlier. Deputy Speaker, His Excellency, the President, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa, has classified gender-based violence and femicide as a national disaster for the country in November 2025, recognizing that dealing with the scourge requires exceptional measures. In response to the classification, the department has strengthened prevention programs in the community. The department is providing sheltering services to victims of gender-based violence and their children. The department is currently funding 24 shelters, 22 managed by the NPOs and 2 managed directly by the department. These shelters provide safe housing to victims of crime and their children. The shelter provides psychosocial services through trauma counseling, court preparation for those who opened cases, and family reintegration services. The department continues to provide support and protection to victims of crime and violence in line with Pillar 4 of the National Strategic Plan and Gender-Based Violence and Femicide. A total number of 28 victims of trafficking were reached. Out of this number, 17 were young persons who were trafficked to Moyanam through social media recruitment. The victims were brought back home through collaboration with the Department of International Relations, other stakeholders, and social media and social development provider, reintegrated and reunification services to the victim and their families. In the last financial year, 88,503 persons were reached through gender-based violence programs, a promising number that one day will help us to stop end cases of gender-based violence. For the year 25-26, a total number of 2,743 victims of crime and violence were provided with psychosocial support services, and the department will continue to render the services in this financial year. In terms of social crime prevention, honorable members, our intersectoral collaboration with the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, NPA, SABS, and accredited NPOs, the department has managed to divert children, youth, and adults from getting deeper into the justice system by placing them into accredited programs. The department reached 1,043 persons in conflict with the law who completed diversification programs. In terms of HIV and AIDS, Deputy Speaker, the department has formally adopted the men's sector for a sector to strengthen the fight against the spread HIV and AIDS, and also obliterated the burden of disease, particularly the HIV and AIDS, continue to affect the ability of families, persons with disability, and older persons. The department has committed itself to raising awareness on social behavior and structural drivers of HIV by integrating its services with other sector departments, private sector, and NPO psychosocial support services, including in particular the Department of Health. So we promote the recently launched program. In the previous financial year, a total of 31,260 beneficiaries were reached through behavioral change programs. In terms of SASSA social grants, Deputy Speaker, a revolutionaries and servants of the people, we are guided by the understanding that social progress is never accidental. Karl Marx reminded us that, open quote, the philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it, close quote. As government, we are not gathered here merely to discuss poverty, inequality, and social exclusion. We are called upon to confront these realities through practical intervention that improve the material condition of our people. Every food parcel delivered, every child protected, every older person supported, every young person empowered represent our collective commitment to transforming society for the better. Madam Speaker, let me take this opportunity and announce that a total of 1,631,827 persons have received various grants through the South African Social Service Security Agents. Includes 99,866 grant in aid, 1,196,775 over 1.1 million child support grant, 12,689 foster care grant, 81,032 disability grant, and 301,465 Yes. The child support grant accounted for the largest share of the grants, over a million recipients. While SCG continues to have a positive impact on school enrollment rates, the increasing number of recipients remains a concern, as many are young mothers who have dropped out of school and in some cases have not returned to complete their education. Through the district development model, SASSA will continue to intensify integrated community registration outreach program, which is the ICROP, with a view to foster stronger relationship with the beneficiaries to ensure more accessible service delivery and promote active citizen participation in government affairs. Deputy Speaker, while statistics provide an indication of the scale of our interventions, it is often the stories of ordinary people that best illustrate the true impact of social protection. For many years, Ms. Angelina Nkona of Ward 3 in Bushbuckridge has relied on an older person's grant administered through SASSA. Through careful planning, discipline, and determination, she has used his grant not only to sustain her household, but also to gradually build a very beautiful home, Honorable Speaker, Deputy Speaker, for her children from the ground up and raise children under unfavorable economic circumstances. Her story is a powerful reminder that social grants are not handouts. They are investment in human dignity, social justice, and family stability. They provide vulnerable citizens with a means to care for themselves and those who depend on them, while creating a foundation upon which families can build a better future. Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Ms. Angelina Nkona is amongst us here as my distinguished guest in the gallery. I felt she must come so that all women can learn from her. Ukuthi imali le na uyitholako ungenza litho likhulu, ungakhela umndeni wakho, ungondla nabantwana begodu, ungahona ukuthi uphile ngayo imali yobudala. Mangibawa uphakame bakubethela izandla so that sikhona ukufunda kuwe. Ngiyathokoza. In terms of National Development Agency, Deputy Speaker, the National Development Agency is an entity under the National Department of Social Development, and it contributes to its mandate in the province through its provincial office. In the last financial year, 387 civil society organizations accessed resources from strategic partners, and in this 2006 and 27, 89 civil society organizations are targeted to access resources from strategic partnership for implementing of poverty eradication intervention. Deputy Speaker, the civil society organizations were funded to a total of 942,237, representing 158% budget utilization, and in financial year, the NDA will continue to fund the targeted organizations. Madam Speaker, it is my request that this House approves the 2026-27 budget for social development, vote 12, which is 2,25,272,000 rand. The budget is allocated amongst the 5 programs. They are as thus: Program 1, Administration, 552,941,000 rand. Program 2, Social Welfare Services, 395,760,000 rand. Program 3, Children and Families, 571,261,000 rand. Program 4, Restorative Services, 272,458,000 rand. Program 5, Development and Research, 232,952,000 rand. The total is 2,25,272,000 rand. As I move towards concluding, Honorable Deputy Speaker, today we begin not just a new chapter, but a new era of dignity and inclusion. It is not about managing a department, it is about having an unwavering will to turn compassion into action and policy into lasting change. Let me extend my sincere appreciation to the Honorable Premier Mandla Ndlovu for his leadership and unwavering support of the social development agenda in the province. I also thank my colleagues in the Executive Council, in particular the Social Cluster Committee, which they are always in support and guiding us as the department, and thank the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, Ms. Nkonyana, and the Portfolio Committee for their continuous guidance and always supporting us. And thank the department head, Ms. Radebe, and the entire management for their always making sure that things are happening and the policy, budget, and the APPs are implemented in the department. And thank our social partners, NPOs, and community volunteers. Speaking about community volunteers, in one of our center here in Swartfontein, Honorable Deputy Speaker, we are working with the church, Grace of Grace, and in our midst there is a pastor of that church who's always coming and ministering to our service users for free. That's the voluntarism. We appreciate Pastor Matambo. You can rise now in Bakshaya. Thank you, Pastor and Ma'am Pastor. We appreciate the voluntarism. Who continue to serve our people with dedication. Last but not least, my community and my organization, the African National Congress, the People's Movement, for entrusting us with this responsibility to advance the cause of the social justice, human dignity, and the better life. Of course, Deputy Speaker, I cannot forget about my family for their support. They are here, my mother, my father. Thank you very much for your support, and the entire family. Ngokutsho njalo, Deputy Speaker, ngithokoza kakhulu kwamambala ithuba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Shope, for your speech. I now call upon the Secretary to read the fourth order of the day.
Order number 4, consideration of a report of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development for 12, Department of Social Development.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development, Honorable T.R. Nkonyana, to table the report.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. I rise as the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Social Development to table this policy and budget vote 12 of social development, which amounts to 2,025,372,000 for consideration and adoption by this August House. I so move.
Thank you. Honorable members, I'm informed that there is no debate on this report. I now put the question before the House whether we agree to adopt the report as presented by Honorable Nkonyan.
Agreed.
Agreed.
So agreed. I now call upon the Secretary to read the feed order of the day.
Order number 5, Policy and Budget Speech on Vote 1, Office of the Premier.
I now call upon the Honorable Premier of the province to deliver the police budget speech. Mwana Madala.
Naile walk. Ngiyabonga. Deputy Speaker of the Mpumalanga Legislature, Honorable Sam Masango, the Chief Whip of the governing party, Honorable Eva Makaban, Honorable members of the Executive Council, Honorable members of the Legislature, Troikas of municipalities and municipal managers, Chairperson of the Mpumalanga House of Traditional and Khoisan Leaders, President of Contralesa, Khoshi Mukwena, Amakhosi who are present here today, our Provincial Secretary, Mr. Muzuchirwa, and other leaders of political parties, religious leaders and traditional healers, Director General of Mpumalanga Province, Ms. MECs Kosana, HODs, and all officials of government, our esteemed community members, family and friends present in the gallery, the media houses, and those following this session through various media platforms, Afshin, Sanbonan, Lochan, Dumelang, good morning, Kuyamora. Deputy Speaker, before I resume with my speech, ngithanda ukusho ukuthi singihulumende weMpumalanga sithanda ukudlulisa ukudabuka okukhulu kanye namazwi enduduzo emndenini wasebukhosini nesichabeni samaNdebele nakizo zonke izakamuzi zeMpumalanga ngokukhothama kwengwenyama makosonke wesibili. Ngwenyama bekungumholi wesintu ahlonitshwa khulu, usebenzile isitshaba sakhe ngokuzinikela nangokuhlonipheka, sihlanganyela nesizwe sonke ekulileni ngokulahlekelwa okukhulu kangaka, kwangathi umphefumulo wakhe ungaphumula ngokuthula okungapheliko. We are also comforted by President Cyril Ramaphosa's noble decision to grant the king a state funeral, as this will provide a dignified send-off for Ngwenyama. Today, our boys, Bafana Bafana, will be showcasing their skills against Mexico. We hope that they will be able to display the African flair. Tsamaya, Shibu, Kish, just a number below the knees, and sandwich. Deputy Speaker, honorable members, it is both an honor and a privilege to address you today on this important occasion, where we gather to reflect on the achievements of the previous financial year and priorities for the 2026-27 financial year for the Office of the Premier. we are meeting during Youth Month, where we'll be commemorating the 50 years of the 1976 student uprising, which is popularly known as June 16 or Youth Day. Former President Thabo Mbeki said the youth of 1976 used stones and barricades against repressive forces. Today's youth should use education and skills to fight poverty and unemployment. We have to invest in the development of our youth. As I reflect on resilience in the face of challenges, I am reminded of the wise words of President Oliver Reginald Tambo when he said, "A nation that does not take care of its youth does not deserve its future." These ways continue to guide us as we build a capable state that invests in its people, strengthens institutions, and advances the cause of development. Over the past year, we have strengthened institutional capacity within the Office of the Premier, established critical monitoring and evaluation systems, and enhanced coordination across departments. Successful completion of 5 evaluation studies, the operationalization of the infrastructure monitoring unit, and the implementation of service delivery agreement for members of the Executive Council are clear indicators of our commitment to accountability and results. These achievements, while encouraging, also serve as a reminder that much work remains to be done. They give us a strong foundation on which we will build in the 2026-27 financial year, and I will discuss them further in my speech. Deputy Speaker, we started the new financial year by developing the 2026-27 Provincial Program of Action as an annual implementation plan for our 5-year medium-term development plan. The Provincial Program of Action for 2026-27 represents not just a document, but a strategic commitment to the people of our province. It is a commitment to deliver services efficiently, equitably, and transparently. As we develop the program of action, we are guided by the priorities of government, the needs of our communities, and the imperative to accelerate socio-economic development. Our plans are not ambitious but realistic, coordinated, and responsive to the challenges we face, including unemployment, inequality, and service delivery backlogs. Equally important is our forward-looking approach as we review the 2026-27 plans from provincial departments. This process enables us to assess how well department strategies align with provincial and national priorities, ensuring continuity, sustainability, and greater impact over time. This year's signing of annual service delivery agreements by our MECs demonstrate accountability in practice. These agreements are not just ceremonial. They are binding commitments that specify clear targets, performance indicators, and responsibilities. For the first time, we have conducted performance assessment of MECs against the service delivery agreement signed in the last financial year, 2025-26. 26. This performance assessment will reinforce the principle that leadership must be accountable for results and that public resources must translate into tangible benefits for our citizens. Effective governance requires unity of purpose, disciplined implementation, and continuous monitoring and evaluation. Deputy Speaker, as we deepen our commitment to accountability and disciplined implementation, we draw inspiration from the former President again, Thabo Mbeki, who reminded us that gloom and despondency have never defeated adversity. Trying times need courage and resilience. Our strength as a people is not tested during the best of times. This enduring message calls on us to remain steadfast, innovative, and resilient as we confront the complex challenges facing our province. Deputy Speaker, we are maintaining our efforts to enhance the institutional capacity and mechanism to monitor the effective implementation of the medium-term development plan. The imperative to reduce unemployment, poverty, and inequality drives our commitment to adopting and implementing a result-based monitoring and evaluation framework that measures and promotes the achievement of short, medium, and long-term results. To this end, through our cluster coordination mechanism, we'll be ready to undertake a mid-term review of progress at a provincial level based on the 3 strategic priorities of the government of national unity. Accelerating inclusive economic growth and job creation remains a key priority on our provincial development agenda. This is being pursued through a strategic focus on high-impact sectors such as agriculture, agro-processing, tourism, construction, and micro, small, and medium enterprises, while intensifying targeted interventions aimed at addressing the persistent challenge of youth unemployment. Priority intervention include expanding agricultural value chains, enhancing food security, and unlocking tourism potential through infrastructure development and regional integration. The transition to a low-carbon economy presents new opportunities for economic diversification into new economic sectors such as the green economy, renewable energy value chain, and energy sector reforms. Driving industrialization and investment promotion by tracking all catalytic infrastructure projects remains one of our key strategic interventions to provide momentum to our economic transformation program and foster a coordinated approach to development. I will establish the Premier's Advisory Economic Panel by the end of the second quarter. The panel will advise and guide the province on strategic investment decisions and support the effective implementation of our socio-economic development strategies and plans. Strengthening partnership with the private sector, academia, and civil society, coupled with steadfast commitment to governance reform, will underpin our efforts to achieve sustainable, inclusive, and resilient economic growth across the province. Deputy Speaker, The rise in criminality continues to threaten the safety of our communities and undermine economic development. Will strengthen collaboration between law enforcement agencies, community structures, and other stakeholders to enhance crime prevention, improve policing visibility, and support integrated safety initiatives at the local level. To achieve this, efforts will be directed at monitoring equitable access to social services, healthcare, education, and skills development, as well as initiatives aimed at promoting social cohesion. Deputy Speaker, central to our human development agenda is the strengthening of skills development and coordination across sectors. In this regard, we are reinforcing the role of the Provincial Human Resource Development Council as a strategic platform to align education, training, and skill development with the economic needs of our province. This council will bring together government, business, labor, and academic institutions to ensure that our skills pipeline respond directly to priority sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, energy, and digital innovation. Deputy Speaker, while we recognize the critical role of local government in service delivery, we must also honestly acknowledge the persistent challenges facing many of our municipalities. In response, we'll intensify provincial support and oversight through targeted intervention, including strengthening administrative leadership, enforcing consequence management, and improving financial governance system. Working with Coxstar and Salga, will prioritize the stabilization of distressed municipalities and ensure that local government becomes a reliable vehicle for development. In partnership with the Department of Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements, and Traditional Affairs, the cluster will coordinate and oversee the implementation of district development plans, ensuring integrated service delivery and specially targeted investment. Deputy Speaker, in the previous financial year, we committed to conducting 5 evaluation studies. I am pleased to report that we have concluded the following plan studies: evaluation of the upgrading of informal settlement program, which is implemented by Coxstar, tourism safety monitoring program through the Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison, the Pezukom Core Nomlim implemented in the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs, Premier's Youth Development Fund in the Office of the Premier, the Lowville Road paving project through the Department of Public Works, Road and Transport. The studies have revealed a hybrid of intended and unintended outcomes and highlighted a mixture of weaknesses and strength in the implementation processes of these interventions. After handing over this report, custodian departments should develop improvement plans to address the findings and implement recommendations emanating from the evaluation studies. Deputy Speaker, it is a privilege to address you on 3 essential pillars aimed at strengthening research services to enhance service delivery across the province. These are the Provincial Research Agenda, the Service Delivery Monitoring Tool, and the Post-Exco Outreach Reports. Firstly, The provincial research agenda is a fundamental pillar of evidence-based policy making in a context where resources are scarce and community needs are high. It is vital that our decisions are based on reliable data, comprehensive analysis, and applicable research. The research agenda helps us identify priority areas, understand emerging challenges, and develop interventions that are both effective and sustainable. Secondly, service delivery monitoring tool represent our commitment to accountability and performance. It provides a systematic approach to tracking progress, measuring outcomes, and identifying service delivery gaps across departments. This tool, Deputy Speaker, allow us to move beyond assumptions and depend on real-time information for guiding corrective actions. Equally important are the post-EXCO outreach reports. These reports serve as a critical feedback mechanism between government and the people, capturing the concerns, expectation, and the experiences of communities following Executive Council outreach program. They provide valuable insights that enable government to respond more effectively to community needs and strengthen accountability, responsiveness, and participatory governance. Deputy Speaker, by bringing these three elements together, we establish a strong governance framework. The provincial research agenda guides our planning. Service delivery monitoring tool guarantees effective implementation, and the post-EXCO outreach reports offer feedback for ongoing improvement. Deputy Speaker, the effective management of information and knowledge management is increasingly central to building a capable and responsive state. At the heart of a modern developmental government lies its ability to harness knowledge, to learn from experience, to share information efficiently, and to apply insight to improve decision-making and service delivery. Development of the provincial knowledge management policy is therefore a foundational step. It aims to ensure the preservation of valuable institution memory, the replication of best practices, and the promotion of innovation throughout the public service. Central to this entire ecosystem is the maintenance of the Provincial Knowledge Management Central Repository. This repository serves as a single, accessible platform for strong and sharing information, research, lesson learned, and best practices. It is a vital resource that promotes transparency, avoids duplication of efforts, and enhances efficiency across government. By maintaining and continuously improving this repository, we ensure that knowledge remains accessible, relevant, and secure for all users. Through the newly established unit, Policy Development Support Unit in my office, there are two critical initiatives that are essential for strengthening governance, enhancing policy coherence, and advancing the development agenda of our province. These are the development of the provincial policies database and the review of key provincial macro policies, particularly the Mpumalanga economic growth and development path, In an increasingly complex governance environment, access to accurate, up-to-date, well-coordinated policy information is essential. The development of the provincial policy database is therefore a strategic intervention aimed at consolidating all provincial policies into a single, accessible and well-managed platform. Deputy Speaker, equally important is the review of our provincial macro policies, especially the Mpumalanga economic growth and development path in collaboration with the Department of Economic Development and Tourism. This policy has acted as a guiding framework for promoting economic growth, job creation, and inclusive development within our province by setting a 15-day deadline for heads of department to submit their performance agreements. We are signaling our unwavering commitment to performance, accountability, and effective governance. We'll continue to monitor and assess our performance, and where there is non-performance, there will be consequences. This is our commitment to a professionalized, capable, servant-led provincial government. The long-awaited project planning, monitoring, and evaluation unit within the office finally began its work in November last year. It assists in the monitoring of the implementation of infrastructure projects to ensure better delivery of the planned infrastructure. A comprehensive monitoring and evaluation framework for infrastructure projects in the province has been created, serving as a tool that guides how infrastructure projects are monitored, reported, and evaluated. Deputy Speaker, we experienced severe weather conditions which resulted in widespread damage to critical infrastructure, including roads, bridges, and public facilities, severely disrupting communities and local economies. In response, we are working closely with relevant departments and national departments to prioritize the rehabilitation and reconstruction of affected infrastructure while integrating climate resilient designs into future projects to safeguard our province against similar events. We have established a strategic partnership between the Long Nan Municipal Government of the People's Republic of China and the Mpumalanga Provincial Government, with the main objectives focused on industrial cooperation, cultural tourism exchange, talent identification, infrastructure development, and good governance. Mpumalanga Provincial Government has also signed a memorandum of understanding with the University of Mpumalanga, outlining clear areas of collaboration, including the hybrid rice project, research and development, knowledge management, and training and development, amongst others. This collaboration allocates 1.2 million hectares to hybrid rice cultivation, which will produce 14.4 million tons annually, with an estimated turnover of over 40 billion rand. The hybrid rice project is expected to create at least 388,000 jobs across all phases. Office has signed a memorandum of understanding with manufacturing, engineering, and related services to train unemployed youth in technical trades, including artisan development, apprenticeships, graduate development programs, and skills development. These efforts aim to address high employment by equipping young people with technical skills, enabling them to become employable within the province. Deputy Speaker, we are pleased to report that the office is in the advanced stages of signing a memorandum of understanding with the National Empowering Fund. This collaboration aims to promote and facilitate sustainable, broad-based Black economic empowerment by providing both financial and non-financial support to Black-owned businesses. During the 2026-27 financial year, the office initiated preparation to establish a formal partnership with Taita Taveta County in Kenya. This partnership is envisaged to strengthen bilateral cooperation and knowledge exchange in identified priority areas. Madam Speaker, the success of any organization is achieved, or its goals depend on its human resource capacity. The achievement of the vision of any department, any institution depends on its human resource capacity. To achieve this vision, we have restructured our organization to ensure that the office is fit for purpose. Following a thorough review and restructuring within the office, a strategic decision has been made to decentralize and transfer the internal audit function to the respective departments. This reform is driven by our aspiration to improve provincial audit outcomes. I want also, as a premier, when I debate nationally, I must also drum the performance of the province in terms of audit outcomes by strengthening internal controls at the source and enabling proactive risk management within departments. We aim to reduce audit findings, enhance the credibility of financial and performance reporting, and progressively move the province towards clean audit outcomes across all institutions. This is our target. We want to move towards clean audit outcomes. Importantly, this shift does not dilute our oversight role. The Office of the Premier, working together with Provincial Treasury, will continue to retain a strategic coordination and monitoring role to ensure uniformity in standard, adherence to professional framework, and alignment with provincial priorities. The Premier's office has been implementing the Premier's discretionary bursary with an objective of supporting academically deserving students in accessing institutions of higher learning to obtain qualification that will enhance their employability. For the 2026 academic year, we have awarded 27 bursaries totaling 4 million across various fields of study. Bursary recipients are beneficiaries of Mpumalanga province, with more than 60% being females. Deputy Speaker, in the 2025-26 financial year, the Office of the Premier had set aside 103 million rand for the Premier's Youth Development Fund to propel 54 youth enterprises of the province to participate in the economy. We have invited few of these beneficiaries. Ms. Sifesiwe Mkabel from Project Atua, Pty Ltd, a manufacturing and clothing company in the city of Mbombela, Is Miss Feziwe here? Are you here? I want, she is here. Thank you for starting your own business. When you love your family, you must start your own business. Don't apply for work, because when you die, this is what I told the DG. DG, when you die, when we prepare for your funeral, you must know that I will be putting an advert to look for a suitable person to replace you. So I'm happy that you are starting your own business because you love your families. Your families will inherit your business. Mr. Manoko Malapile of MJM Investment Pty Ltd, based in the Dr. J.S. Moroka local municipality, has successfully established a fully compliant car mechanical workshop that is registered with the Retail Motor Industry Organization. And I want to encourage honorable members to support these local enterprises by considering it for your vehicle services and mechanical maintenance needs. So this is the request that we want to make to all of us, that we must support these local businesses. Mr. Manuku Malapil, are you here? Oh, he is here. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Mr. Sizwe Kaba of Youth Minds Poultry Farm Pty Ltd from Sukalikwa local municipality. This company is at the final stage of operationalization and will soon produce a minimum of 5,000 broilers per month. Mr. Sizwe Kaba, are you here? He is here. We want to thank all of you for honoring our invitation. Our intervention for youth empowerment is impactful and yield positive results for the youth in the province. 2,307 job opportunities have been created through these funded enterprises since the inception of this fund in 2021. Deputy Speaker, the Provincial Implementation Plan for HIV, STIs, and TB for 2023-28, as well as the Global Alliance Plan to End AIDS in Children, has been developed and will be adopted by the Executive Council in this current financial year. The main objectives of these plans are to accelerate prevention, increase access to treatment, overcome social and structural barriers, and ensure sustainable people-centered care. We have centered HIV treatment and prevention on ultra-long-acting injectables, including lenacapavir, to improve adherence, expand prevention coverage, and enhance long-term health outcomes. On the 5th of June, 2026, the President, together with the Premier, the National Department of Health, and the Provincial Department of Health, launched this program in our province at the Gersbande District Municipality within the Govenbeki Municipality. International Day of Persons with Disabilities is celebrated annually to promote the rights, inclusion, and well-being of persons with disabilities. The commemoration serves as a platform to demonstrate government's commitment to inclusivity, enhance responsiveness to the needs of persons with disabilities. Deputy Speaker, the office is making significant strides in advancing procurement objectives, particularly in broadening participation in public procurement opportunities for designated groups. During the year under review, the office exceeded its target for women-owned enterprises, achieving 42% against a target of 40%. And for youth-owned enterprises, achieving also 45% against a target of 30%. However, the office did not achieve its target for enterprises owned by persons with disabilities and military veterans. We acknowledge these shortcomings and remain committed to implementing targeted interventions for the 2026-27 financial year. Deputy Speaker, as part of tackling gender-based violence and femicide in the province, we have launched the Mpumalanga Provincial Council on GBVF, which I have the honor to chair with the assistance of my co-chair, Ms. Nomalanga Ngwenya, a member of civil society organization. We are intensifying our efforts to combat the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide in response to the President's declaration of GBVF as a national disaster. We have ensured that our departmental and municipal plans are aligned to address this challenge. Madam Deputy Speaker, Mpumalanga Provincial
Sakubona ukuthi i-double plug.
Mpumalanga Provincial Government places strong emphasis on transparency and accountability as fundamental components of accountability to the 5.3 million people of Mpumalanga. In the previous financial year, we reported to this August House that we have approved a 5-year integrated provincial communication strategy to ensure the effective flow of communication between government and communities. The Office of the Premier is determined to intensify communication with communities, thereby entrenching transparency and accountability. In this current financial year, we'll conduct 3 EXCO outreach programs to maximize public engagement. Public resources are entrusted to us for the benefit of our people, and we have a duty to protect any official found to be involved in acts of fraud, corruption, or maladministration will face decisive disciplinary and legal consequences. To institutionalize ethical behavior, EXCO has approved the renewal of our provincial anti-corruption strategy. As part of implementing the provincial anti-corruption strategy, we'll work closely with COGSTA and SALGA to ensure that municipalities also adopt the Code of Ethical Leadership in local government for municipal councillors. Working with institutions of higher learning like the University of Pretoria, we have a program of capacitating and developing our investigators to sharpen the investigation and align with the challenges presented by the changing environment such as artificial intelligence. Deputy Speaker, I am pleased to state that the vetting field unit sub-directorate is operational, and our collaboration with SSA through an MOU will ensure that the vetting processes are finalized within a reasonable period. We'll introduce an institutionalize lifestyle audit for senior officials and targeted categories of employees across the provincial administration. This audit will serve as a proactive measure to detect unexplained wealth, prevent corruption, and reinforce ethical conduct. Deputy Speaker, the success of our plans, or all the plans that I presented, depend not only on policy and resources, but on the integrity, discipline, and commitment of those entrusted with implementation. We must collectively uphold the highest standard of ethical leadership and service to our people. Deputy Speaker, there is a song that we used to sing when we were very young. Akuvumi mangithule. Akuvumi mangithule. Thomases did not believe when we said we are going to operationalize Mpumalanga International Food Market. This week, our Mpumalanga International Food Market welcomed its first client, Grain Farm Nuts Company, which has started to store its macadamia produce on site. This marked an important milestone indeed. Akuvumi mangithule. This development highlights the market's practical value as a strategic investment that supports local farmers and agro-processors, reduces operational costs, creates employment opportunities, and enhances export capacity by bringing storage and market access infrastructure closer to production area. It is an honor, Deputy Speaker, to table the budget of the Office of the Premier Vote 1, and I accordingly request the House to approve the amount of 505,959,000 rand for the 2026-27 financial year, distributed as follows. 1. Program 1, Administration, 197 million and 190,000 rand. Program 2, 241 million 591,000 rand. Program 3, which is Policy Research, Performance, Monitoring and Evaluation, 67 million 178,000 rand. Akuvumi mangithule. Our international food market is finally operational. Indeed, akuvumi mangithule. Akuvumi mangithule. Akuvumi mangithule. Ngiyabonga.
Hey, icon. Okay. 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 No, it's okay. Let's come back, honorable members. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Premier, for the
MEC of Health.
Policy budget speech. I now call upon the Secretary to read the sixth order of the day. Akuvumi mangithule.
Order number 6, consideration of a report of the Oversight Committee on Legislature and Premier's Office, Vote 1, Office of the Premier.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Oversight Committee on Legislature, the Premier's Office, Honorable TMJ Groove Morgan. Okay, who's standing on her behalf? Okay, Probrier. On it fast,
Except
on it
if
fast.
it's not the chair of chairs.
Ja, on it fast, on it fast. Ja, set hom af. Dankie. Chairs of chairs, you may proceed.
Thank you very much, Honorable Deputy Speaker. I rise to move the report for adoption by the Honorable House. Thank you.
I'm informed that there is no debate on this report. I now put the question before the House whether we agree to adopt.
Just that cool, the chairs of chairs, icon.
Agreed.
Yeah, just wait, Honorable Sidibe. I now put the question before the House whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by the chairs of chairs on behalf of Honorable Khuve Morgan.
Agreed.
So agreed. That brings to the end of the morning session, and the proceedings are suspended until 2:15 in the very same chamber. Now, honorable members,